I've literally been talking this whole time, and I've had my mic muted. I've been talking for like a good 2 minutes, and I just realized I had my mic muted. Sorry about that. Let me actually move this real quick. Unless you guys could hear me. I don't think so. I think my fan is really loud in the back, so let me mess with my fan. Let me turn my fan off. I'm gonna walk over real quick. So, any questions you guys got? I'm gonna get to the comments in a second. I was just sending out links to see anybody who wanted to show up, see what's going on for it. So let me get reading some of these. What's up, Jared Punch? How's it going? Do I think Rebecca will get an Ether Gear form? I mean, I imagine the Ether Gear will eventually give everyone forms, kind of like what we saw with Shiki. Yeah, some more of that. I think it'd be cool. I hope you get Shiki versus Natsu. Well, Natsu is definitely stronger, because the thing that Natsu definitely has over him is he countered him because his fire can burn the ether that powers, like, all his stuff. But also, well, when we eventually get a crossover with probably Haru, Natsu, and Shiki, they're just going to be portrayed as equals, which is fine with me, because, you know, I don't want any of them getting, getting pushed down under. You know, I'd like them all instead to, you know, be comparable, give respect to all of them. Do you think Eden Zero team up as Black Clover? Really interesting to see them hang out with the Black Bulls. I think Wise would fit in the most, just the way that he is. We need more aliens in Eden Zero. We're getting there. We just got like a cool big alien monster. And then, what's her name? Maria? She's definitely an alien with them stretchy legs and stuff. I don't think she's not an alien. And then what, a cyborg and a straight robot? There's got to be stuff that we'll get further in. Like, I don't think we have much for, like, distinct alien races. I know that we've gotten some named, but I don't think we've got any, like, specific, like, oh, this is the whatever race. They're great warriors, whatever. Maybe Baku, when we find out, maybe his race are known for something, because he's obviously a big deal, at least somewhat, at least for it right now. So, that'll be interesting to see how things go. He's a pretty interesting guy. What's weird is, like, the panels he's in, like, vary between, like, him looking more kind of, like, Mishima cartoony and then, like, Mishima's seriousness with that extra little bits of shading and detail that make him look more intimidating. I definitely am open for that. Eden Zero will have space music. I hope so. I want something like a theremin in the background. Think Lavilia has Ether Gear. I do not think she has one right now. Do you think Eden Zero should be seasonal anime or weekly anime? I mean, it just depends on who's working on it. Like, normally, was it, like, one of the ones that does a lot in Studio Period? They used to be really good, and then somehow they just randomly got pretty bad and pretty dumpy. But they've picked up a lot with Black Clover. Like, the animation looks pretty good now. Like, the last 2 arcs have both looked, you know, really nice. Yeah, you're at that. Space music, of course. Stall for time. Oh, I was literally talking, because I had the output audio, so, like, any sound that was going to my computer, I think some audio from a game or something that was just kind of, like, sitting in the back. I think that was it. I think it's, like, League of Legends or something of just, like, birds chirping. And so I thought it was going, then I look over at my mic, and my mic, like, the little button that indicates if it's muted or not was saying, hey, you're muted, so I was just talking for 2 straight minutes without realizing it, looking ridiculous. I hope anybody who showed up enjoyed the stream yesterday with Quan Credible and SG Sammy, Broken No Hero. We had fun talking about events in Black Clover. We want to do like a monthly, like, Black Clover get together stream where, you know, we just come over, we talk about events, any theories we've got, anything we might want to go over, and then maybe do any for other series. Like, maybe it can just be like a special, like, it could evolve into like this our crew, and we could talk about just different series to recommend and, you know, go over what you guys want to see. Kind of like what we do here, but with more people. Neon Ether Gear. I'm hoping they have that glow, because they added that in the anime for Zeref's Fairy Heart form, the white Zeref. They added the glow to his wings, which I was happy about. Which kind of, like, balanced out for how annoyed I am that they keep making Natsu's Dragon Force Fire golds, and for some reason his scales are, like, grayish brown. I'm so confused by that. It bothers the hell out of me. He needs Jin confounding lightning with his wind. That'd be awesome if Jin did that. I'm wondering what the extent of it is, because we haven't seen, like I talked about, like, if Shiki ended up using his gravity to create, like, wormholes or something. I think that'd be pretty exciting. I heard rumors of Pino is going to get traded in Eden Zero Crew when she becomes human. I'm wondering if her becoming human will be a much later thing in the series. Maybe she'll get, like, a more humanoid body at some point, but she's supposed to be the mascot of the series. So it'd be kind of weird for her to, to get a non-mascot-y cute body by then. Maybe she'll get, like, something that, like a mech kind of thing. I guess it'd be a mech to her, but it looks like a normal person to other people, where she just kind of climbs inside it. I don't know. I'm very curious. So, do you think Draken Joe will be as strong as Lexus? I mean, we don't know how strong he is because we don't know the extent of, like, how big characters are in Eden Zero yet. Like, Eden Zero power levels right now aren't that big. As we've seen, the big stuff they have is, like, machines and, like, you know, weapons and whatnot. It's not like, oh, here's my power, you know, it does X, Y, and Z. It's more like, I have a power that's pretty useful, but I also have this weapon, you know, like Kurnai has her satellite blades and whatnot. It just, at least what's been right now, could easily change, don't know. But we'll see how that is. Do you think Shiki has a dark power hidden inside him? I'm hoping Shiki's isn't going to be his power, but more his personality, more of that rage mode. I got to do my Shiki theory video tonight. Hopefully I remember, and then I'll upload it probably tomorrow. And then, you know, if you guys want to check that out. Like ability to join Eden Zero. Maybe eventually. The thing is right now, I like where her character's at. I actually really like of her just being like this kind of like sitcom bully, where she's not evil, but it's like she's a bitch. Where it's just like, oh, goddammit, she's around. She's going to cause some mayhem, some ruckus, some issues. Nothing like major, nothing like big and dangerous, but still like, still problematic, you know. Rebecca would be strong. Sakura is not strong. Sakura's pretty lame. Rebecca would be like Death the Kid. Is she gonna hold her pistols upside down? I would actually be perfectly okay with that. I don't know if she'll surpass Lucy, because Lucy's still going, and Lucy still has a lot to, like, because we don't know how many keys now she can, like, manipulate into her body, like, combine them, and if she eventually gets, like, the Celestial Spirit King to make a key for him to give to her. What's up, Smarty? How's it going? Excited about the new job? Oh, that's good. Glad you got a new job, dude. Are you going to review the next My Hero Academia chapter? I don't know. The thing is, like, I dropped recording it, doing reviews, because I wasn't as interested at the time, and I didn't want to do reviews just to do reviews. I wanted to only do reviews if I was enjoying what was going on. And then shortly, like a couple chapters after I stopped, it got pretty interesting. And I don't want to just kind of, like, jump on the hype, like, at the end of the arc, because then it just feels like I'm just trying to get on it because, you know, it's hype right now, it's popular, you know, people are going to be looking. When more hype stuff happens is usually when the videos get more views and more attention. I don't want to come off as somebody who's just like, oh, I'm just doing, you know, this one for the sake of, like, cheap wins, or cheap clicks. I still want my videos to be successful, but I don't want to seem like I'm trying to exploit something, I guess. Who would win, Gentle Criminal or Finral? Well, Finral doesn't have really any offensive capabilities, but I guess, like, if they fought, Finral could just use his, what was it, Angel's Flap, and just teleport him away and win by, like, ring out. Lightning Flame Dragon was awesome. I'm happy to see it back. I was surprised, because I said in my review that it had been so long that I just theorized, like, maybe he had to get rid of it somehow to get Fire Dragon King mode. Like, maybe it's because, like, Fire Dragon King mode is, like, you know, such a big, like, jump in purity of fire. He had to get whatever, like, attachment the lightning aspect was to him, but he still got it, which is crazy, because I always really hoped that he used it in the Alvarez arc as being like, you guys are commendable at least to make me not fight in base, but obviously not like Fire Dragon King mode or Dragon Force. That should have been like the area that like the subordinates of Spriggan were, someone like Marin Hollow or something like them. That should have been like where Natsu goes Lightning Flame Dragon mode and, you know, beats up on him. Where it's like, he still got him to get into his second form, but we didn't see it. Like, it's been like 5 years between this chapter and the last time he used it. The last time he used it, I believe, was against Marred Gear at the start of their fight, when, you know, he goes up to, does that punch and, like, makes contact, doesn't even scratch Marred. So it was so surprising to see, because once I saw Gajeel do it, it was just like, oh shit, Gajeel's, you know, he's going his hybrid mode. What's Natsu gonna do? Natsu just busting his out was just great. It was so nice to see. Have you ever seen Cowboy Bebop? I watched Cowboy Bebop a long time ago. I remember almost nothing about it. I gotta get to it again eventually. It's one of those long rewatches. I actually really want to rewatch Eureka 7. I want to buy the Blu-rays soon, because I had a moment earlier this week, and I just remembered a scene, and then I rewatched, like, one episode, and I'm just like, I want to rewatch this all again. I love this series. It was so good. Didn't care for AO. I don't think anyone cared for AO, because it was just not nearly as interesting. It didn't have as nearly as solid as a cast. I think the cast is one of the things that kind of hurt it. I feel like if I rewatched it, I wouldn't dislike it as much as I did initially, but I feel like I still won't like it even close to as much as I like the original. And it's not like, oh, the sequels can't be ever as good as the original. You know, they could be better. Like, look at JoJo. People never, like, hype up series 1 of JoJo, it's always like, what's it like 2, 3, and 5? I think I've only watched up to part 3 of JoJo, so I don't know. But I know that part 1 of JoJo is never like the one that people gush over. Cool. You guys can hear me now. Yeah, I had my mic muted without realizing it because earlier I was talking to my brother, and then I was like, I just want to sit down for a little bit, and then get ready for the stream, get talking to you guys. Zeref's its anime form, I was actually very happy about. I was happy they at least made it look good. I was very salty about how they turned out Natsu's Dragon Force. I was mad about it, how they did it at the end of the Tartarus arc in the anime, and I'm very upset about how they did it now. Because, like, there's, like, stuff that, like, I feel like you could kind of get confused if you were an animator that didn't know anything about the series, like the Golden Flames. It's like, maybe you watched, like, that episode or something, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's supposed to be gold, okay. It wasn't, it was gold because of the Flames rebuke specifically, similar to, like, how he had, black fire when he ate Zancro's fire back in Sirius Island, as well as when he ate Eclipse Leo's during the Eclipse Spirit arc. But it's like, it shouldn't be gold, but also, why are his scales that color? Like, it's like Igneel is a red dragon. Like, why would you have him be, like, brown? Like, it's the same color as the hand on this little avatar I have. It should be, like, the same color as his hair. Like, it was so frustrating. Did I see Jellopocalypse Studio JoJo rant? I saw, like, well, that dude's a fucking idiot. Like, I remember him doing that like, go vote video where he was like, if you, go vote, but only vote blue, otherwise you're a monster and you hate everybody that's good. That dude's an idiot. Like, I don't give a shit about what he has to say, to be perfectly honest. What was annoying, that I think that really got me also about him, is the way he presented himself after, like, that whole go vote thing. Because, like, his fans were upset because they're like, we watch your videos for, like, funny animations. We don't want you to give us your political opinion, especially don't lecture us in our political opinions. And then he's like, whatever, you don't have to watch my videos. I don't care. You guys are just like, the amount of views I'm going to lose with you guys is like $1. And it's just like, you're treating the people that give you a paycheck because they watch your videos, like, you're treating them like shit. It's so stupid. Yeah, no homo Jared Punch. You guys are great. I appreciate I appreciate you guys. I mean, it's not like, obviously, like, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I mean, technically I am, because I think to be a professional, you just have to make profit. But I'm not, like, YouTube isn't my career. Like, yeah, I make a little side money every month currently off YouTube, but it's just, like, even with the numbers I have, like, I just feel like it's such a dumb and disrespectful way to be like, hey, these guys like me because they like my content. They like hearing me talk about these things. Well, I don't care about you guys at all. You guys can suck it. It's like, no, like, you're being a piece of shit because like, the dude just, you can tell he thinks he's big, like he's a big deal, but all it really takes is like some big hit like that, and then like his channel could go dead. I don't watch his videos. I watched like a couple of them like at one time, and then I was like, ha ha ha, and then I didn't subscribe to him, and I just never went back. But it's like, you're gonna be a forgettable guy. You make silly flash animations. A lot of people do that. Calm the fuck down, guy. Like I do reviews on manga. Like it's not like I'm the only one. It's not like even like my subs. It's like, oh cool, I get money from YouTube. I don't know. It doesn't mean I need to have a fucking ego or some shit. Anyway, I ranted a little bit because that did bug me, because I just thought that was really stupid with that guy. When do you think anime for Eden Zero is gonna be made? I'd say within a year, because you have to have the anime or the manga to be somewhat far, or at least so far ahead that there's, no issue of doing filler or catching up with the manga like at a good amount of time. What are we at right now? Like 56, I think? 57, maybe? I think it's 56. I think we have 56 chapters so far. My guess is somewhere around 100, maybe like a little over 100, I think. I think Fairy Tail got its anime somewhere around, like 160s, 170s. Because I remember around, like, chapter 20 was, like, right where the manga was at, fighting Faust and Daedalus, if I recall. But, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I really do love looking at, the way that they animated Zeref's form. I'm hoping they at least don't make Natsu Savage Dragonfire gold. Make it red, or just give it, like, kind of like, the way that it looks on the cover for Volume 62, where it looks like fire, but it has that, like, weird, like, arcing white color in the middle of it. Like, I thought that was really cool. I hope they can maybe do something like that just don't make it gold. I just don't like it while it's gold. There's so many characters already that it's like when they do their power-up thing, they turn gold. But it bothers me even more. It's like, yeah, Natsu had gold fire ones, but it was a very specific reason. It's not just like what his Dragon Force looks like. What other combinations do you want to see from Lucy? I want to see... I like Cancer, because Cancer is the, where she has the pretty much two scissor blades, kind of like, Ryoko. What's it? No, it's, yeah, Ryoko? Is that how you pronounce her name? From, Kill la Kill. That, and, let me think for a second. I'm trying to think of a really good one. Maybe like Capricorn. I think that would be really cool. Well, Capricorn, I think he's just like combat. I don't remember what powers he gives. Legitimately, I've absolutely like. I don't think he had any because like she doesn't really use him like ever, and she only uses Star Dress at one part in Dragon Cry. Oh no, I'm gonna go with Sagittarius and Cancer. And, like, imagine she has, like, wind blades or something. That'd be really cool. I would actually really like that. I'm wondering if all of them have this form, like, you see, like, she has the wings. Because she's got, like, these fairy wings. And, obviously, like, they don't have... Lucy at least has the fact that she has fairy magic. She actually has fairy sphere. I don't want her to learn fairy law. But I would like her to... oh, she doesn't need fairy glitter. But she at least has fairy sphere, I guess. I don't know. She could get more. Maybe she'll develop a new fairy spell. I think that'd be really nice. Like, what if Lucy became actually... I still think Laxus will be the next guild master, but what if it ended up being Lucy? That'd be kind of surprising, but... I don't know. I feel like it's in a realm of possibilities, but not something that I would count on. I never thought about too much. When are you going to start Dr. Stone? Oh, I'm partway into Dr. Stone. Where I was at in the manga was right when they defeated that one dude who killed those lions. Shiki gets his powers by implanting Dragon Demon, sells Shinkai in his body, sells his body, like what happened with Tenka. That's rough. You're gonna sell your body. Is it like, is he on the market? He's on the open market. There's a lot of them with light novel spin-offs. Is there any for Fairy Tail? There are. I don't think any of them have official translations. I know there's a couple. There's one I know for a fact that's canon, and that is Wish Upon a Star, which is the one that connects the Dragon... It doesn't connect Dragon Cry to canon, but it connects the story of Sona to Dragon Cry, so it like makes more... You find out more about her from the canon, which is pretty good. She was a cool character. We're actually seeing Mashima's artwork on Fire Force. I've seen some of it. Did he put out anything new? I haven't seen any pictures from his Twitter lately. Soccer still uses to me. Soccer sucks. I heard My Academia volumes are good. Novels. I haven't read any novels. I don't think I've heard anything about novels specifically. I just got done with the training arc. I'm almost done catching up and don't start school till next Monday. Oh, do you mean the training arc like the skirmish between Class 1A and Class 1B? Because if it's that one, I like the first half. I didn't like the second half of it just because it got kind of boring. The Demon God from Black Clover versus the Phoenix from Fairy Tail. No, the Phoenix from Fairy Tail would definitely win. Like, obviously it's not canon, but the Phoenix was going to literally, like, scorch the entire planet, like, clean. Like, it literally absorbed magic around it for a few seconds, and then it launched an attack that was covering that was, like, growing around the entire planet, and then was going to collapse on it and scorch everything dead. Like, that thing is a world-ending event. Like, it was much more powerful. Crazy stuff. Tenka's Dragon. Dragon Stick gives him muscle boosts, long hair, and lightning sparks. When going to full burst, that sound familiar? Yeah, it sounds like Super Saiyan 2. You think Makarov is going to fight, or do you think he's too weak to fight? I think he's too old. Because it's not like he... I guess he could fight from his wheelchair. I mean, but he's gonna... It'd be kind of weird. But he still, like, has magic. And I don't think there's any comment about, like, his magic getting weaker or his overall body. Like, he should still be able to use certain spells. And even if he doesn't use Titan, he still has, like, normal generic stuff. We already know he can use, like, just normal fire spells and whatnot. Or, like, maybe we'll see some of those weird, like, light constellation spells to use during the fight with Josei. He just never used again. I guess he only really got, like, one fight after that against Hades. And any of his other abilities that he used, we just never saw again. A lot of cast from Persona 3 and 4 does Fairy Tail. That's good. What's the worst Dark and Black Clover, in my opinion? Let me think. In my opinion, that's hard because I really like all the arcs. I don't know, maybe the, I'd say maybe the first part of... Oh my God, I can't think of anything. I guess maybe it's just the first arc where they go to the, they go to that village and You know, you get the first like bit with like Magna and Noelle. I'm trying to remember. It's Saucy Village, I think it was called. And what was the villain's name? I forgot that Ice Studio was obsessed with like keeping you on track. But I mean, it's not even a bad arc. It wasn't like a big eventful one. That was one where it was still kind of like Black Clover was just like it felt like it was going through a lot of motions for Shonen. And then like the dungeon arc, I think really picked it up. I think a lot of people knew the dungeon arc was where it kind of got crazy. You love Voltaire's voice actress, dub or sub? I don't know if I've heard her dub, but I do like her sub. Shell Apocalypse is stupid. Yeah, I don't care about him. What type of plot do you want Black Clover movie to have? Actually, I'd kind of like for them to do a movie adaptation on the video game, because the video game actually had a pretty good plot. Like, it had that early, like, you remember, like, early Black Clover's anime, like, a little animation, it was super chunky. But the story was solid. The story was definitely solid, and I like that. It was, you know, kind of Elseworlds, like, you had events that obviously doesn't make sense if you include it into the main story, but obviously it's kind of, like, not tied to it. I know it has a manga. I have one of the volumes, but it's only in Japanese. Who do you think is more annoying, Sakura or Chi-Chi? Oh, Chi-Chi by far. Chi-Chi, not only, like... Oh, Chi-Chi was like, oh, you need to learn books, Gohan, instead of save the planet. You know, it's going to be better than keeping the planet not destroyed. How about you get into some Ivy League schools? She just was an absolute annoying character that made no sense. She was rude. She was just a complete bitch to everybody. Sakura is... She's not, like... You don't get mad at Sakura because, like, she's just, like, an overall, like, trash character. She's not a useful character. She has, like, some of her things that is useful, but it's, like, a lot of, like, the problem with Sakura is, like, it's, like, do something. Do something. Chi-Chi is just, like, just go away. Just stop. You don't do anything. You don't need to be in the story. Go stand over there. It's super annoying. Dr. Stone got its anime after 100. Yeah, a lot of series tend to get it somewhere after 100, but also, like, weekly. I guess depends on if you're, like, a monthly. Lucy Fairy Heart. I mean, like, she doesn't have it. It's gone now. She definitely doesn't have Fairy Heart. That would make her too crazy. What's the scariest DBZ fatality in your opinion? Oh, Stardust Breaker for sure. Stardust Breaker is for sure, like, the most vicious attack in Dragon Ball. Because, like, you can, like, throw a rock at all these other attacks. Most of them are just big beam attacks. Most of the attacks in Dragon Ball aren't like, you know, they're just big energy attacks. Stardust Breaker straight up goes into your soul and then explodes your soul out of your body and kills you. Like, it's not only soul destruction, but it's in a way that just looks like there's no coming back. Like, your soul kind of just, like, glitters out of, like, a hole in your back and then just disappears into, like, you know, the air. That was by far still my favorite attack, I think, also in Dragon Ball. Definitely always really liked Stardust Breaker. Or Soul Punisher, you know, if you enjoyed the Japanese one. Actually, that is one of the things I do like about it, is both the Japanese and the English one are both really cool. Like, they're both fun as Soul Punisher and then Stardust Breaker. Stardust Breaker, I think, sounds just way cooler, just by the name of it. And it does look like Stardust, which is cool. How long is Rekka 7? 50 episodes, and I think 25 for AO, but, like, I don't care. AO... I don't know. I feel like you could skip AO, but it's canon, so it's kind of hard not to, or kind of hard to. But it's like, it's frustrating because, like, Eureka 7 is great. Like, Eureka 7 is still my favorite. It's got my favorite mech. The Nirbosh is my favorite mech. I still think the best love story anime ever, and the love story was part of it, but it was also, you know, heavily like action and mech series, and it just had such a good resolution. I love that series. I need to rewatch it soon. What's your least favorite My Hero Academia arc? Let me think. I think it might be the Class 1A 2B skirmish. Like, it's just so... It's so boring after, like, the first 2 rounds. And the first 2 rounds are only interesting because you get to see characters who you don't usually see go out. And then, you know, they pull over and it's just, like, the same characters, like, curb stomping everyone again. Also, really quick... I just want to shill really fast. I really appreciate, you know, everybody who's here. If you could thumbs up the video, I'd really appreciate it. I enjoy all, you know, all kindness from my very, very appreciated fans. You know, subscribe anybody who's new and hasn't been to the stream before. And I accept all kind super chats, though only due to your own free will. JoJo stand. My favorite JoJo stand? I don't know a lot of JoJo stands, though. I actually really liked JoJo when it did, Haman. Because stands are cool, but I think it became too OP when you had that. Because then it became more of like a battle to figure out what your opponent's power is, and then it's like, can I beat it or am I fucked? I really like the Hamon battles. Like, one of my favorite battles in JoJo is still, was it AC/DC, I think, when he and Joseph fought up on those, that, like, spike pit, and they were using, like, their powers so they could, like, stand on the spike needles. I thought that was really cool. My Hero Academia, brief novels. I know there's some in there. I don't know too much about all that. How would demons from other series function in Kimetsu no Yaiba? I guess it depends, because it depends on what series. Like, you take a Fairy Tail Demon, they're too powerful. Like, a lot of them not only are, like, really physically strong, but they also have, like, crazy powers on top. On a scale of 1 to 10, how guilty is William? I think he's 10 out of 10 guilty. The thing that, again, like we talked about on the stream, the thing that people forget is, he's part of their military, and he committed high treason, which by itself is punishable by death. So, like, it's like, just do it, dude. Who is more guilty? Who is more guilty of heinous crimes? William, Jalal, or Sasuke? Oh, William, because Jalal wasn't part of any group. He did bad things, but he didn't have any, like, loyalty or allegiance. Sasuke left the Leaf Village. He quit. William didn't. He didn't leave. If he left and did all that, it'd be different, like Raditz. But he backstabbed everybody that was still in there. He used all their trust in order to get all this done. So it's just, in my opinion, that abuse of trust of others like that it's just so bad. It's gonna take a long time for him to, in my mind, be made up for what he did. Like, I don't see any like normal way for him. Like, it's got to be like a long like string of events, and then like he sacrifices himself or something. I started reading JoJo Part 6. I'm on chapter 51. That's good. Is Jolene the main character? That one? It's the girl of JoJo, right? Jalal is brainwashed. Well, yeah, but Jalal wasn't. He still did it of his own free will. Like, he fully like bought into all the Zeref stuff. Like, he did it, willingly. But again, like I said, he wasn't sworn to anything. William swore him and his grimoire to the to protect and serve the Clover Kingdom and the Wizard King, and he broke that promise. It'd be like like I said, the gap between a civilian like aiding a terrorist group, and then versus like a high person in like the military or the government doing it. It's way more severe because of that, the position they're in. You don't know how deep their influence was. Like I said, the Golden Dawn. The Golden Dawn now is untrustworthy because you don't know how many of them were in on this. You don't know how many of them were this happened without them knowing. How many of them were fully like on board. Like Langris for sure seemed like he knew. So that's going to be a big thing. And even if it's just him and William, you have the captain and the vice captain of the Golden Dawn, like, as traitors. If Lucy beats Mirror Jane, she would only be, like, 2 spots from top 5 strongest Fairy Tail Guild. I don't know about that. I mean, the top 5 are, like, Natsu, Gildard, Slaxus, Urza, Gray. I'm telling you, Wendy's still, like, way up there. Makarov still has to be at least somewhat strong. I mean, it's somewhere up there, but, like, do I want to say Mirror Jane is even in the top 10? Like, maybe borderline, but still, I don't know. I think she had a much better display against, with Brandish. Like, she had a better display in the Alvarez arc than Mirror Jane did when she used, Aquametria. That was, like, more impressive. Like, she just, all that land, all that earth, which, by the way, was during the point of Universe 1 still cast, which compressed all the earth 1/20th its own size. And it's not shrinking, it's not like mass manipulation, kind of like what Brandish has. It was compression, so you're compressing all that. So all the land was 20 times heavier, denser, and Lucy moved all that to the point where it was almost water. Like, all that mass that she shifted around to attack with is pretty impressive. It's no surprise why Goku wants to go train all the time to get away from Chi-Chi. Yeah, Chi-Chi sucks. I think he'd take, like, Gohan or Goten with him, but he doesn't. Broly, dogs or cats? I like both. I like, with pets, it's like, I've had lots of different kinds of pets. Like, I love cats, dogs, I've had birds, I've had guinea pigs. I currently have 2 cats because I had a cat because when I wanted to get my first ever solo pet, I've had pets my whole life, but my cat, she was the first pet that I ever had where, you know, it was just me taking care of her, sole responsibility. And I wanted to get a dog, but I work almost half the day, and I didn't want to get a puppy just to have him sit in a kennel all day long. So I got a second cat, and he's starting to warm in. Hi, buddy. Unfortunately, he keeps trying now to be friends with my other cat. She has not accepted him yet. It's been like 3 days. He's really warmed up, though. He didn't eat for like 2 straight days, but now he's doing good. He's actually... My first cat is sleeping on my desk, and then my second cat is sleeping like next to my desk, like in a corner, because he's still really shy. But you just gotta pet him, and then he'll be like, you know, super loved. He's a good cat. What manga did you drop the fastest? Oh, Freezing. Freezing, I think, is the manga I dropped the fastest. One of the things I'll talk about is... I like everybody likes fan service, but I like fan service when it doesn't feel like the characters are doing fan service like for you. It feels like it's actually going on with what's happening. You get like accidental stuff, but like the first part of Freezing, it's like the main character, what was her name, something Streiser or whatever. She like gets beat up by this other girl, and then she's like, I'm gonna strip this other chick and then take pictures of her and post her online. It's like, why? Well, what did she do? Like, this just feels a little bit forced, a little rapey, but whatever. I don't know. I didn't find it very interesting. Plus, it had a lot of the... I also heard of things, like, happened later on. Like, the main girl's, like, stepbrother, like, borderline rapes her, and then the male lead, like, forgives him a day later. It's like, why? How? What? No. 1 second. Anyway, what's your favorite anime that aren't based on a manga? I love Code Geass. I'd say probably like Code Geass because it doesn't have a manga. I still love it. I really like Lelouch's character. I really like the character arc, the style. And normally I actually don't like. Normally I don't touch mechs because I'm not a huge sci-fi guy, but I really liked that. I also Eureka 7 I loved. Broly is one of the tough guys to survive Stardust Breaker. Yeah, that was pretty fucking awesome. I loved it. Sora versus Dante from Devilman. It's Sora. Well, I'd say Sora, because, like, Kingdom Hearts has, like, crazy. Like, they have, like, tons of things that put them at, like, faster than light. And, like, messing with black holes and moving planets and stuff. Like, Kingdom Hearts actually has really crazy power levels. Like, look into it. Like, some of those are vicious. Stardust Breaker only kills evil people. Does it? That I don't remember. So, like, if so, then I guess that would explain it. Vegeta proceeds to killing Broly anyways. He just beats him up. Oh, they weren't trying to kill Broly because he was bad. He was too dangerous. He was going to destroy Earth. But that's one of those things where it's like Dragon Ball's so inconsistent. Because what is it like? There's a part where Beerus, like, taps a planet and destroys it. And then you have Broly going far beyond that. And then, like, Earth isn't even in danger. The power levels in Dragon Ball always bother the hell out of me, but whatever. Which clown are you more afraid of? The Joker or It? Oh, the Joker. The thing about It, though, is if you're not afraid of him, he can't really do much to you unless he shows you the deadlights and drives you insane. But the Joker is just, like, too unpredictable. Noelle versus Gravity Girl, Myrak Damon. Noelle's infinitely better. That's not competition. William basically pulled an Aizen. Well, yeah, I guess that'd be a good... Actually, that's a really good, like, thing to compare it to. It's like Aizen. He did all that knowingly while still being part of the group. He wasn't like, oh yeah, this guy quit and then, you know, became a villain. It's like, no, he betrayed everyone's trust during it. Favorite waifu in Dragon Ball? What's the chick's, is it Android 21 from the video games who turns pink because I think she eats Majin Buu or something? That one, I'll take that one. Do you think Yami will ever forgive William? No, I do not. Yami doesn't seem like a guy to, Yami doesn't seem like a guy to be like a, yeah, live and forget. Like, you know, I know you did all these bad things, but, you know, maybe you'll make up for it. It's like, no, that doesn't seem like Yami at all. Hold on a second. Like, people messaging me all of a sudden, only when I'm streaming, they're like, hey, I want to talk to you. 1 second. Alright, some more of these comments. Which anime do you have on your watch list the longest time but haven't watched it? Let me think. A really old anime? I would probably have to get, like... I can't think it. See, now it's like... I'm trying to think not just, like, one that I haven't watched. I'm thinking way far back. I guess maybe like any of the JoJos I haven't seen just off the top of my head. But now I'm like I'm gonna have to think about this later because I have no recollection because it's probably so far back on like the put on the back burner. You know that scene where Chilai was harassed by some drunk dude. Oh, Broly, yeah, Broly's a good boy. Broly's a good boy. If Lucy beats Mira, then she'd be the seventh, which is 2 spots behind 5. Yeah, but I don't know if I'd even put Mira that high up. Legitimately, I'm telling you, Mira Jane is not as powerful as Wendy. Like, I 100% believe that. I don't think for a second Mira Jane could take even one hit by Acnologia. She took hits that Acnologia was giving to Gajeel and Laxus. Like, you can't even be like, well, like, Acnologia was holding back. It's like he was doing the same amount of damage to Laxus and Gajeel, Cobra, Sting, Rogue. Like, all of them were taking the same level of hits, and Wendy was keeping up with them. Like, for real. There's no way that Mira Jane is stronger than Urza. Absolutely not. I mean, if you like her more, it's different. But, like, in terms of strength, of course not. Dimension Slash Getsuga Tensho. Getsuga Tensho, I'd say, is way more iconic, but Dimension Slash is more powerful. It's more concentrated. I guess because Getsuga Tensho is, like, has a lot more raw destruction, but that's not what Dimension Slash is. It's a hacks, like, go right and kill thing. It's kind of depressing how Mira used to rival Urza, now she's nowhere close. Well, yeah, she didn't do anything for 2 years, because she had issues with her, being able to draw her magic out after a whole event with Lizana. So it's not her fault. And then she just, she wasn't involved in a lot of the big stuff, so she didn't have as many, like, growth moments. Eisenry, you were under the impression that this was a live stream. Eisen can't trick me. Have you ever seen Gurren Lagann? Yes! I actually been considering rewatching it soon, because I just keep watching random scenes. All the Yu-Gi-Ohs, which series would you like to live in? So that's actually a good question. My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Is still original. It's still the original one. Like, it has the best duels, and I think it has the... I really love Yugi, Kaiba, and Joey. I think they're the best trio out of the groups. But if it came to live in one, I definitely pick GX. I think GX would be the most fun to live in. It's just like, it's not too kid-like like Arc or like Zexal, but it's still close enough where you're still fresh into like the boom of duel monsters. And like you got like academies and stuff you can go to, like pro dueling was like becoming like a big thing. I'd go for GX. Plus, I really like the GX cast too. I've read The Flowers of Evil. I have. That's a depressing series. Julius versus Xehanort. Xehanort would kill him. Xehanort was going to reset the universe. Like, that's a little bit beyond Julius. Jesus. Finally caught up. Finally caught one in progress. What's up, Grievous Air? How's it going? How are you guys doing today? Well, Bravo's best My Hero Academia girl, and Merleona's best Black Clover girl. I also really like Brava. She's just a good character, very loyal. Best girl in Rave Master. I always like Belnica, but she's not that useful. She's not like a big deal character. Ellie's good. I like Belnica. I'm gonna go with her. I think she's a solid pick. Bonkai, best waifu in Ruby. I always liked Wise, but I liked Weiss on a personality level. I would never count on her to fight because they make her like pretty much incompetent in fights for some reason. It was a shame that what was the chick's name? Oh my god, the tiger chick that led the White Fang. It's a shame that she died, Tiger Cat Girl. I also really like Salem. Salem I think would be a good pick. If Osmond wasn't such a dick, or what was his original name? I don't remember. I don't really care. If he just went with her, then she never would have became, like, full-on evil. She just would have been a tyrant, which she would have been a tyrant for good, and everything would have worked out eventually. Did you see Black Clover's new opening? Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was solid. I thought it was really good. It wasn't my favorite in terms of music. I really liked 3 and 7 in terms of music, but the animation was great. I really enjoyed that aspect to it. I thought that was just really nice to see. I've only seen the first season of Code Geass, and it was a long time ago. If I ever get to season 2, probably be a full series. I love Code Geass. I need to watch the new movie. I need to see R3. I want to know what the hell happens. But I don't think it's in English yet or even subtitled. It might be somewhere online. I know it came out this year, so it's... I know there's a big gap usually between, Japanese theaters and when it can be found properly online. I don't want to watch some, like, 240 res shitty rip with, like, probably, like, barely translated subtitles. I can see current Wendy beating Mira, but she's also still top 10. Name one person in the guild stronger than Mira Jane other than guild arts. Personally, I think Kana could one-shot her with Fairy Glitter. I mean, it's anybody out of the main cast already is stronger than Alexis, Guild Arts, Makarov. I'd still probably put up there. Toka still technically has the guild mark, which is funny. So she is a member of the guild, so she actually is the strongest. That's actually really funny. I never thought about that. She's technically the strongest member of the Fairy Tail Guild, and even with that, she's like without forms, she's also the strongest to ever be in there. If you don't count Natsu getting forms that he doesn't have like activated will to go into yet, Toka's the strongest. That's pretty funny. Not much enjoying the stream, as you can see. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up. I was a little bit behind. Oh, yo, what's up, Omar? How's it going, dude? Predictions for Lucy versus Strauss siblings. I really want to see see Lucy's spells. I'll put like a full-on review or prediction video, which we'll still have until proven otherwise. Me calling Wendy fighting Laxus. But I'm ready to see some of Lucy's spells, because they're going to be combinations, because it's Virgo and Leo. Leo has light magic, and Virgo has her like pitfall magic. So I'm wondering how that's gonna work. Like, is she gonna be able to call like beams of light or something? Like, what is her spells gonna do? Because we already know, like, when she has them, it's not just like, oh yeah, she gets a buff. She also gets whatever powers they have. But if she's combining them, is it gonna be that she can use both at once, or is there a merger of the two? Top 10 waifus. That's its own video. You guys are always asking, like, top 10s, but, like, a top 10, like, in the middle of the stream would just end up taking up, like, the whole stream. There's too much to, like, go over, and then I gotta theorize, like, think old series, I can go over a lot of, like, the ones that I normally check out. I don't want to, like, miss any that I just forgot about because I've checked it in a long time. You know, I feel like I got a yawn. Hold on. There we go. That was a pretty thick yawn. Anyway, I gotta make sure. Hold on. I don't want to skip stuff. I just realized I just kind of glanced over some stuff. Gurren Lagann is one of my favorite. Yeah, I love Gurren Lagann. One thing that bothered me about Code Geass was Suzaku and Nina. I didn't have a problem with Suzaku. Nina was just annoying. Wendy versus Yuno. Oh, Wendy would whoop the shit out of Yuno. Just eat all his spells. Asta versus Deku. Asta would win. Asta would win. He's got such better combat experience. He's way more durable. He just seems like he's much more rounded currently than Deku. Deku has, like, the advantage right now that he's got all these powers that are apparently lying in wait, which he might be able to get some hacks, which would be obviously really useful to him. But at the moment now, it's just like he's going to have to kind of center that, like, is he going to train his new powers, or is he going to be training, you know, the super strength aspect? Asta versus Roxas. Again, Roxas would win. There's a part in Kingdom Hearts 3 where Roxas, I think he travels multiple light years in, like, a couple minutes. He's too fast. Too fast. You know, what's up, dude? Where would you rank Juvie amongst the females in the guild? Most loyal, at least. She definitely wins most loyal. I mean, that's for sure. Favorite anime studio? I don't know. Like, I guess maybe I'd throw something like, what's the one that's doing Kimetsu no Yaiba right now? Is it Studio David? Because they're just, like, on fire. Tiger Girl is voiced by Monica Rial. I know, but that's the voice. That's not the design. That's just a voice. Like, she didn't create the character. She just, like, they paid her to read, like, a minute of dialogue. So you gotta keep that in mind. Is it Ufotable? Who's the one that's... Oh, no, it's Studio David's the one doing, they're the ones doing, Fire Force. Studio D, yeah. Ufotable is doing Kimetsu no Yaiba, and it looks goddamn beautiful. I wish so much. I don't know what I would have to do to get Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest animated by these guys. I'll even take half budget. Like... It looks so beautiful, and there's so many missed opportunities and cool seeds that happen in the Alvarez arc that just, they don't live up even close to the manga because they're just not as nice looking. I mean, yeah, Kimetsu no Yaiba is great. I need to catch up with the anime, because I normally read the manga, and then the anime I usually just see scenes on YouTube, but I want to watch it. I'll probably binge it when the season is over. I do that a lot of, like, big hype stuff, unless it's something like, you know, has no tie-in, because, like, Kimetsu no Yaiba, I'm much further ahead of where the anime's at. So it's not spoilers I'd be seeing, it'd be animation. And getting back to stuff that I, you know, saw a long time ago. Do I like Fire Force? Yes! I haven't reviewed the newest chapter. I should probably get to that. I'll probably do that later tonight, put that out maybe tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Adam, it's time I got what I deserved. I liked Adam. I'm salty that Adam got taken out like that. I thought that was really stupid. I thought it was a cop-out to his character, because... that he was powerful enough that he was able to beat Blake to the point where he didn't have to take her seriously, and he was literally bitch slapping her in the middle of their fight. And with Yang, he literally moved and cut her so fast and so strong that she didn't know what happened, and he 100%ed to zeroed her aura in one strike. And then, and what she's able to block it with her arm that's like what made of metal, when those metal arms by Atlas, their metal has been getting cut up like throughout the entire series by rookies. So why is this one special? What is it made out of that makes it somehow unable to get cut up by Adam, who's definitely a pretty high up there character within the world that we know of right now? It was so frustrating. And he's obviously a bad dude. He's a villain, but he was an interesting villain. And it was the same thing with Torchwick. They did him dirty. They killed him off at the end of Volume 3, and he was the most charismatic person in the entire series. He was the most fun to see talk, and just kind of like operate, express what he was doing, and yet they killed him off. And it took 2 more volumes to even make Salem interesting. Like, her episode, I still think is the best episode in the series. You got a lot of really good lore stuff. The animation is really nice. They didn't pander to any, like, goofy comedy. It answered a lot of questions. But at the same time, it's like, oh, what's up, Grievosaurus? Thank you for $2 super chat. Studio Gemba would do 100 Years Quest for cheap. I just hope they do it nicely. Like, I don't expect it all to be like Kimetsu no Yaiba, where it just looks beautiful. I'm hoping it's more like Black Clover, what they got, because right now, their animation, they keep, like, characters normally doing stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, it looks alright, it's passable. Unless you pause it, you're probably not going to see the wonkier moments. And then, like, important fight scenes and stuff, then that's when they go ham. That's where they were, they were directing all their time, effort, budget, money. I don't know why I said money and budget at the same thing, but, and it just gets that extra hype thing. Like, a lot of people obviously watch the anime because there's a good percentage that watch the anime because they aren't reading the manga. But there's a large percentage as well that watch the anime because they read the manga and they're like, I can't wait to see this scene animated. And they've been fumbling. Guild Arts vs. August actually had a lot of good animation scenes. I was happy about that. I'm happy that that Fairyheart Zeref looks really nice. He just looks pleasant to look at. I just really annoyed with what they're doing with Natsu right now. And it's not even like an animation thing. It's like the colors. It's such an easy thing to fix. Like, it shouldn't be like... There has to be someone that's purposely doing it and not just paying attention. Like, it's crazy. It bothers the hell out of me. Started Fire Force. That's cool. Yeah, I like Fire Force. I really like the... the thing I really liked about the beginning, and I talked about it especially when I talked about the anime, is it wasn't feeling like you were watching like a shonen anime. It felt like you were watching, I guess it would, I don't want to say cop show, but a little sitcom-y, because like if you watch like, I kind of compare it to the first episode of Scrubs, where JD's the main character, but it feels more like every other character knows each other, and he's the new guy, he's the cog trying to figure out where exactly he fits in, and that's what Shinra was in episode 1, and I really liked that. I thought that was kind of like the charm that it had. It was like you were watching like a normal TV show about firefighting, but it was pulled over more towards, being an anime at the same time. Samurai 8 is good. Do like Samurai 8. Which My Hero Academia would you kill? I'd probably honestly go for Aravati. That way, Rebecca... what is her name? What is the chick's name from the movie? Or the tech girl that already is in the main series. One of those two could become the main character, because they were more useful. I don't like Aravati. I think she's a boring character. Thanks for the 17 Denmark. I don't know what the other 2 Ks are. Are the Crones? I looked it up once, but thank you for that super chat. More for the Natsu figure. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna get a second case to put it in, because I have one right now, but I still have stuff to put up, but I only have the one. It was only like $100-something case, so I'll probably get another one around that time. I don't plan on getting the figure until probably around near the end of the year, somewhere around like winter. Probably get it. Like I said, I'm gonna do an unboxing video. And there's a Blackluster Soldier figure that's coming out soon, and I didn't see a date. There was no price, so that one will depend. But whenever I can, I'm getting that for sure. I doubt it'll be nearly as much as the Natsu figure, but I do want that because just Blackluster Soldier is so awesome. And it looks so cool. I wish I could find the video to it. I'll probably look for it. Maybe I know I retweeted it on Twitter. It's somewhere on there. Yeah, Samurai 8 is good. It has a little bit of an interesting start, but definitely the last couple chapters have been really solid. I've really liked it. Do you think the last What did you think of the last few Eden Zero chapters? I like it. I actually am really enjoying. I really like that Garrett and Co. Like Garrett being able to take attacks from Shiki, and he takes damage, but he's not just knocked out, because so far, like throughout the series, Shiki's been beating up people pretty easily. But that's because the fights weren't supposed to be like big action battles. They were much more of you finding out about the characters. It was much more of an introductory period. Whereas currently, these characters seem pretty powerful, so these should be like the first challenges. Maybe not like Natsu's Gajeel or Haru's Shuda, but, you know, maybe something to at least push him somewhat. I still maybe Draken Joe. Draken Joe might be his Jalal. I think maybe he could be like his kind of like first like big tooth and nail one, and then maybe Justice, you know, continue that thing to make him similar to, you know, Haru versus Sieg and Natsu versus Jalal at that moment. That'd be pretty sick. Nezuko or Noelle is your waifu? Oh, Noelle for sure. They did massacre Berserk, but Grievous Error, I don't know if you've noticed. The guy that does, he does. I don't know if he's, I assume he's doing season 3, but he did the Castlevania series on Netflix. He wants to do Berserk. So if he can get the rights to that, then we'll hopefully guarantee like a good Berserk season. So look forward to that if so. You think Alderaan will end up fighting by the end of this current Fairy Tail arc? I mean, he's gotta. Like, what's he... My question is, what is he thinking? What exactly is the guy, like, doing all day that he's, you know, in his head? Like, he's ignoring all this? Like, he should have some awareness. We'll probably find out more exactly of why he you know, just sleeps all day and why he doesn't kind of, like, go about his thing. Like, these guys are fighting on him and he doesn't seem that concerned. I don't know. I'm very curious to Alderaan. I'm curious to know what his personality will be like. The only thing we know about him now is he can read people's minds and hearts. Melissa, that's her name. I don't know why I keep thinking it starts with an R, but yeah, she deserves to have a spotlight. I've always talked about how, like, I wish Deku never got a quirk, because, you know, the whole thing is like at the start, like he didn't have a quirk, but he wanted to be a superhero anyway. He said he was going to try and be one even if he didn't have one. If he ended up, like, one of these tech girls being the female lead, and he ends up being kind of like All Might, like, in personality, like, kind of Superman, and just, like, the presence of him, just them being there kind of gives you ease. Whereas the way he solves problems is using his mind, because Deku, you know, he was introduced as, like, being analytical and intelligent, but most of the time, he just, you know, goes into straight fights. He just goes into, like, a brawl battle, you know, big super strength punches. I would have liked it better if instead, like, he had tech, and he was, like, solving stuff like Batman, but he had more of that, like, Superman presence when he showed up. I thought that would have been really cool, and then you could have had the tech girl be, you know, his female lead, but, like, more of his, like, I guess, you know, person in the chair, giving them, intel, you know, getting gear for them. That would been really cool, but, you know, I can't change how the series is formatted. It is how I see things, you know, personal opinion, personally, but, you know, whatever's. Anyway, what else is there? The girl from Two Heroes. Don't jinx it. I'm keeping up the stream. I meant, where do you rank Juvia in terms of power amongst the females? I mean, she's definitely somewhere up there. Like, obviously, the strongest Urza, and then probably between... I still say Lucy and Wendy and Mira Jane. It's probably somewhere on top 5. I think maybe Kana might be above her with Fairy Glitter. I think that would be her thing to kind of, like, you know, beat her. But without it, I would say Juvia. But obviously, she can activate Fairy Glitter at will, so it's a little bit different for her. How much durability did... Wait, hang on. We'll skip one. Rebecca will be as strong as Wendy. Again, I don't know about that. Wendy is legitimately very powerful. Like, I always say this. Like, people think I'm kidding, but Wendy, again, is very powerful. Like, to survive attacks from the space between Time Eaten Actologia against... Like, to take hits like that and keep standing is ridiculous. And they were all able to achieve that, everyone present. You know, it definitely was a pretty big deal. How much durability do you think Sonya have, because she survived getting out of the eclipse as a child, just like the Dragon Slayers? Well, she got pretty much, like, she got up afterwards of getting, like, swatted by Animus, but she doesn't seem to have any fighting capability of her own. Like, I don't even remember casting any spells. Can anyone else remember, like, any spells? I don't think she casted anything. But, you know, whatever. I mean, Sonya was more of, I can't even say, like, she was, like, doing anything, because, like, the person that was actually leading and had the fake one of the king was Animus with, like, you know, an illusion he was doing all the time. I mean, she still seemed like a nice character. Definitely a little bit twisted, though. I would have my hero suit and device similar to Ryuko's transformation. Oh, shit. That's lewd as hell. If Voice takes up Kunai's weapon, he'll be the MVP of the series. That'd be pretty sick. Like, if he real-time alters it. That'd be crazy. I feel like that'd be too much range. Like, he'd have to get up there, but I feel like if they get all the way up there, couldn't they just EMP it and, like, take it out? But yeah, Adi Shankar. Oh, Adi Shankar. Oh, yeah, that guy. That's the name of the dude who does the Castlevania animation. I met him once, actually. But yeah, he says he wants to do Berserk. Noah and Lucy are on a whole nother level. Oh yeah, Lucy and Noel are both great. I love both of them. Do you think Yuno still has his elf power? I think he'll learn how to draw it out. I don't think he can just, like, drop it like he can Spirit Dive right now, but I think it's possible for him to still, you know, I think he could potentially learn how to harness it and, you know, draw that out of him. But who knows, really? I always, like, get lost, because while I rant, I look around a bit. It just kind of keep myself, like, it on a flow, and then I'm like, shit, where was my comment? How do you think LC Crimson is? That monster imitating her was able to take a gravity punch from Shiki, and he's been evading justice for a while. Oh, I think that she's probably around Arasion Six Galactica level, and maybe she just hasn't earned, or maybe, like, they didn't want to give her one yet, or maybe she is one, and they just didn't name it yet. Like, it wouldn't be a surprise. Like, we've only had one interaction with Elsie, and they didn't talk. We didn't see a lot of discussion, like, description about her. She could easily be one of them. Current Lucy versus Tenryark. Oh, Lucy for sure. The thing about it is Lucy was already, in terms of magical power, she was S-Class back in the Grand Magic Games, because Angel was S-Class, and she could only summon up to a Gold Key and then one Silver Key at the same time, and Grand Magic Games, Lucy was able to summon 2 Gold Keys. And look where she's at now. Like, she's way beyond that. That's why I say, like, I think legitimately she's within sight of being at that level of magic for a Spriggan level character. And obviously the Spriggan 12 were a group, but, like, the Spriggan just seemed to be their own kind of classification of, like, a certain level of power. Not counting, like, the variations of whatever their magic is. Oh, my cat's up. Hi, buddy. What are you doing? You want to come be in your first stream? Come here. Come here, buddy. Tartaros. Hi, buddy. He's warming up. He keeps trying to befriend my other cat, but she's not having it right now. Hi. He's a really nice guy. I'm happy he's eating again. He was real sad for the first bit, and now he's pretty affectionate. I know. Hi. Alright. This is say hi to the YouTube people. He doesn't meow as much as my other cat, so I don't know if he's actually gonna say anything. But I'm sure he would say hello. Juvia should miss top 5, even with that Fairy Glitter Kana, has better feats. Yeah, she does have elemental cards, and one thing about her that I think people forget is she learned how to do the dimension cards from Show, so that's like a hacks in itself for her to have. But I was thinking more of, like, because you can dodge those. Like, the cards are definitely dangerous, but they don't have, like, Juvia has a lot more range, and it's not like she's pretty mobile as a character with her water body. But she has Fairy Glitter. You know, Fairy Glitter hits Juvia and it's over. I mean, Juvia gets clipped by Fairy Glitter and it's probably over. In My Academia, my super form would be my suit going overdrive, kind of like I was thinking like suit overdrive, and I was thinking more of like the one that Redestro has. Redestro kind of makes me a little bit sad because I like the tech to enhance quirks. I always thought was kind of cool, but it's like one of those things that we have in the series that never seems to really get used. And it reminds me of full body hockey in One Piece, because every single time a character has ever gone full body hockey, they immediately get trashed. What was it? I know Virgo and Pika both, right when they went full body hockey, they got their ass kicked. I don't remember anybody, but I think there was a third character, but I don't remember if you're a much more knowledgeable One Piece character or One Piece reader. I swear there was a third character, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Oh yeah, I got another cat. I wanted, so, just as a little story, I was planning on waiting until, like, next month, and then I was talking to my landlord, because I thought I had to put a deposit down, because I don't pay, because, you know, if you live in an apartment, there's, like, a amount extra you have to pay for pets. Like, my apartment just does a straight, like, a pet deposit. You only have to pay for, like, one lump sum. It's a couple $100. And I thought I had to pay another one to get a second pet, and then he told me, like, no, it's fine, as long as you tell me that you're getting a second pet. And I was like, oh, cool. And then, I went to the shelter. The cat that I wanted, the first cat I wanted was actually at a different shelter. And then I came back the next day, and that cat that I was picked second was actually adopted that morning. And then I was looking around because I wanted a male and, like, a fluffier cat. And they said they didn't have any, and I found this little boy. Oh, hang on, he wants his food. Here you go, buddy. Here. I set it on the table, and I feel like you would have knocked it over. Here, you just put your food right here. He was off in the corner, and he was just shoved in a corner. He seemed nervous, and, like, I knew all the tiny, like, really affectionate, playful kittens were definitely going to get adopted. He was one of those cats where he was already pretty old. He was, like, 10 months, and he was very shy. Like, you go into his cat, like, little box they kept him in, whatever those, I guess, would be called, display. He would swat at you, not like with claws. It was, that clawless kind of just like them wanting you to leave him alone. He seemed a little bit too shy, like, a pet would almost be a project, but after, like, 2 days, like, he's a really nice little affectionate fella. Hi, buddy. Come here. He's just a little skinny guy. He's a big kitty, but he's a little skinny right now. We're gonna get you into being a little bit of a thick cat, right, buddy? I posted pictures of him on Twitter if you guys want to see. My cat, she's not happy about it. It's funny because now his name's Tartaros, and he's being a little more active. Like, he's actually exploring now. And my other cat, he keeps going over to like see her because I think he wants to be friends with her. And she, like, hisses at him, and then she'll just run away. She already has very tsundere traits, and she's just furthering the stereotype. Most overrated shonen villain, Frieza, 100%. I'd say Frieza because one character, I'll get to all the other comments. I just saw that. I wanted to answer it. There's, like, a lot of characters that are really hyped. I think, though, that, like, the thing that, in my opinion, hurt Frieza is that he stopped being that big character. Bringing him back, I think, was a bad idea. Obviously, he's really popular, but since he's come back, like, he's been a character that's like, I want this new guy to seem really powerful. This character that we don't know how strong he is to kind of get, like, hype around him. They beat up Frieza. Because, like, watch the Broly movie. Like, Frieza was just, like, treated like a joke. And it's like, god damn, Frieza is just, like, it doesn't make sense also with his story. Like, why is Goku, why are they fine with him going around and enslaving planets? I actually talked to somebody. I actually laughed because I talked to somebody on Twitter, like, a couple months ago that was trying to tell me, like, talk about social justice. And they're like, you like anime, all these characters would be social justice warriors because they fight for things. And I, like, named Goku. And I'm like, Goku recently let Frieza back into the universe and go around enslaving planets, and he knows he's doing it, but he doesn't do anything about it. That's, like, the most against justice you can do. Frieza, Cooler is literally cooler. I definitely like Cooler more. Let me pull back and see some of these comments to make sure that I don't skip stuff. There's that. Juvia seems pretty outdated to me. Her last good feat was in Tartarus. Well, she didn't have, like, any good... what she had in the Elbers arc wasn't combat level, it was character stuff. Like, she learned how to manipulate her water to the point where she could, like, manipulate her blood, so in case anything happened to Gray, she could use her own blood in order to heal him. Like, she didn't work on power at that point. She started to work on, like, support so she could be an aid to Gray. So it's like, she had a lot of good stuff going on. And it wasn't just that. Like, she also had a lot of good straight character moments. Like, Gray and Juvia's, like, whole part near, what was it, chapters, like, late 490s. Those were great. I love those. Like, that pushed their characters a lot. That was fantastic. Do you think Black Clover anime is going to stay the same? I don't know. I think it might be because, like, the anime actually is really high profit. It's been Tokyo TV's, I think, 4th highest selling and profiting anime within, like, the last 2 years. Like, it just rakes in money, which is really surprising because it's weekly. It doesn't, like, Boruto is one of them, but Boruto has, the legacy of Naruto tagged onto it. So, there's a lot of people that follow it just because, Naruto is involved. But Black Clover is its own thing, and yet here it is, like, competing with shows like I think the other ones, it's like Naruto and Boruto, and the other two are like Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh!
So you have Boruto's the only other new one, but it's tied to Naruto, and then you have Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's like they're two giants, 2 billion, like series that have accumulated billions since they were created, and then you have Black Clover, and it's like, goddamn, it's keeping up, it's keeping the hell up, so that's good. Unless I forgot something. No, Chuki's great. The only reason we don't know Eden Zero power systems because we have. Oh, the thing is, I talked about. Yeah, I preferred if power levels stayed relatively not crazy, but like a lot of their big stuff is like weapons. I think that would just kind of give an extra thing to Eden Zero. Like ships would be a lot more more vital. Like what weapons you have on ships, like what systems you have. It would make like the people who operate your crew more kind of like stand out. Plus, I think that one thing that we have now with Eden Zero that would be really cool to see versus like what that wasn't possible really in Fairy Tail or Rave Master is spaceship battles. Like that would be so sick. We don't need like crazy choreography. We just need like lots of cool like mobile scenes of them flying around, shooting giant laser beams, and like it gets some just intense Star Wars, good old Star Wars, not shitty new Star Wars style displays of just like interstellar combat. That'd be so sick. Sonya's magic wasn't visible, but as a yeah, she didn't have any combat stuff. Is what I mean. Like she obviously had stuff because she clearly had magic within her. Most people do. I remember her. She was involved a little bit when she went with Zash, but yeah, she never had anything that was like seemed like she was a combat character. What if Asta made his own anti-magic sword? I talked about that before, because if you go back to the chapter when the Witch Queen mentions that the swords belong to the former leader of the elves, he's using, in his hands, he's got the 2 first swords, and then he's got 3 swords plunged into the ground behind him, having 5. 5 swords, 5 clover leaves, it just seems to tie in. But I think by the end of the series, Asta will get his own. And I think one thing that would be cool to see Asta also do is like maybe if it ends up getting a 6th clover, because the series is Black Clover, it's not 5 clover, 5-leaf clover or anything. Like it can still get a 6th clover and still fit it. And maybe Asta would create a new thing, that their 5th leaf has a demon, and then something about a 6th leaf, then Asta decides it. I don't know. We'll see. I would like to see a sword from him. Hey, buddy. He's now crawling up into my chair. 2 days ago, he wouldn't come out from under my bed, and now he's just a little love cat. Hi, buddy. He keeps trying to climb up. Are you coming up? You want to come up my lap? Come on, there you go. Hi, buddy. Hi. I'm doing a stream. Are you gonna at least say hi to people? No? Are you nervous? He's nervous. Don't mind him. Hi, buddy. Oh, he's like he's now grinding up his head against my face. Listen, you were a cat in a shelter a few days ago, and you just wouldn't go near anybody. What is this? You're climbing on me. I'm trying to talk to my subscribers. Anyway, yeah, I'll be like Alinity. Did you guys see, like, I know people have seen that Alinity video where she throws her cat behind her. Did you guys see that one of that chick who straight, like, put her dog in a dryer on a stream? That chick's garbage. People need to find her in that Animal Protective Services, like, animal control. This needs to, like, show up at her house. For one, she needs to be fined. She needs to be a huge fine for animal cruelty. She needs to have her pets taken. And you can actually get oh, thanks for knocking stuff over, buddy. You can actually legally get made so you're not allowed to own pets. If like people who abuse animals, you won't be legally allowed to have like animals. That's what that bitch should have. She literally was clapping and laughing as she put her dog in a dryer and turned it on. The chick's garbage. Anyway, I ranted really quick because that pissed me off. Why is Mana Zone guns? I mean, they don't have Mana Zone. They might have something similar, maybe. I think it'd be cool just to see him with more machines, more different kinds. I actually would really like if he carried like a machine on his back, or if he just had a robot and then constantly was like, if he just had like a safe. You can imagine like a big armory behind him. It's pretty much just a big box that comes with him, and then it opens and he's got all these weapons and like parts, and he just entertains them constantly. That'd be pretty sick. If Lucy had this power back in Alvarez, she would have given Brandish a better fight. Yeah, I saw people like saying like, oh, she never showed this power before, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, it's been a year since Alvarez. Like, characters have been showing their new things so far. Like, Wendy is able to straight temporarily make people Dragon Slayers. Like, They've all gotten boosts. Urza has a Dragon Slayer sword now, and she's combining the aspects of her armors with her swords. That was the thing that she did in the anime, but it wasn't really used in the manga. But now she's like combines her Flame Empress armor with her Yoto Benizakura, so she's able to use a fire katana. And that's something that I always argued with people, because a lot of people, like, it was always a thing in the anime where she could use most of her, like, elements with her armors, but a lot of people, like, try to say, like, oh, it wasn't flying because you didn't really see it a lot. I remember her doing it sometimes, but I can't remember if she used, like, fire. I'd have to go back and look. That's actually something I don't remember off the top of my head, because she doesn't use the elemental armors a lot. Like, usually she uses, like, she's got her Tenrin armor, she's got the fire pants. She's used Nakagami armor more than some. What, Blackwing, her soaring armor and stuff. I really like that. What was the one with all the swords around her? It doesn't have a name in the manga, but they gave it one in the anime. It's like Anatrax or something. I think it actually has Rax in it. Destroy the old cat, corrupt the new one. Oh, I would never do that. No, I love both my cats, but she doesn't like him yet. But he seems to want to be her friend. He keeps like sneaking up on her and like trying to go near her, and then when he's not looking, she sneaks up and tries to smell him, and then he'll turn around and she'll hiss at him and then run away. Like, she's a super tsundere cat. Facts, Juvia versus Noelle. I mean, Noelle wouldn't be able to really harm her, and Juvia could like literally get into her body and then explode. Easy anime adaptation or Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest adaptation. Oh, I'll take Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest adaptation any day. I love Eden Zero already. It's only been a year out, but like as I've said, like Fairy Tail is my goddamn heart and soul. Like, that's my favorite, so I can't put any of the other series above that. Like, it won't happen. As much as I love other series, like it'd be like, as much as I enjoy something like Black Clover, I still have stuff ranked above it, like Fairy Tail, like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I will always take those just a good margin above the rest. It'll always just be, you know, those special ones to me. I say she should have beaten Brandish. Oh, that left room for her to grow, though. That left a lot of room for Lucy. Like, that was cool because it was like, Lucy had a really good display, but it just means she's not Spriggan level at the moment. But now, like, where she's at, like, she could use that whole fight, and then that could have been, like, her motivation, you know, to keep getting stronger. And now she's going to have 2 forms out of it. Like, this could be Lucy at that point, because she's always really strong. The thing that always kind of makes Lucy not seem very powerful is she's obviously the least powerful out of the main group, but that's like, yeah, the main group has some of the strongest people on the planet, like Natsu, Gray, Urza, like still Wendy, they're all really powerful. And Lucy is definitely really strong, but like, she's just not as strong as the other people she hangs out with. But like, you put her against, you could get a random mage and random wizard, and Lucy would probably just like flex her power, and they'd be like, "Holy shit, who are you?" And it'd probably feel really weird because everyone just knows Lucy. She's the cute happy girl. She usually gets fan service, but in reality, like, she has a big deal level of magic. Like I said, like Grand Magic games. I think you could. Can you hear my cats in the background? But yeah, they're getting a little noisy. But yeah, Lucy's been on level with S class since the Grand Magic games, as I mentioned. She's very impressive, and people overlook it. But that's I guess it's kind of understandable. Hello, I joined now. Do you think Lucy would be able to merge all 12 spirits? Do you think her final form would be Celestial Spirit dress? I think she'll get the Celestial Spirit dress before she gets like all keys merged. There's a good chance that I'm curious of why the Celestial Spirit King doesn't have his own key. Maybe he just didn't have a need for it, but, you know, breaking the key, like, and it have to be, like, close to the spirit you use, and it has to be enough of a serious situation you're willing to break the key. But I feel like with Lucy, like, the Celestial Spirit King and all the things that, like, Lucy's proven, she should get a key to summon him. Like, that just seems like she's earned it. She's definitely earned it. Like, she's trustworthy. She actually became, like, more powerful, like more durable, because she'd get hit by attacks that normally a summoner wouldn't, because she didn't want to just hide behind her spirits. Like, she 100% deserves a Celestial Spirit King key. There's actually a let me actually find the picture. There's an armor set that Hiro Mishima did for Monster Hunter.
that it looks kind of like what I imagine Celestial Spirit Queen Lucy would have. Let me see, sword creation. Let me try and find it, because he here we go. First thing I found. Let me put it up there. He did one, and obviously like Lucy being kind of space themed somewhat with the constellations. That seems to be what he did, and I'm wondering if he used like maybe any of the ideas of it, because even parts of the like the sheath for the sword looks like a key. Part of the sword itself looks like a key. What looks to be keys around the actual weapon itself. Let me try and get like a good one of it. Oh my god, no! This is like a small picture. Hold on. Let me grab this. Oh, I think I'm just like super zoomed in. I was gonna use like MS Paint, but it looked too small. Oh, this is like a really shitty picture because it does not look very big. But I can figure it out. Maybe I just have it as a really big picture now. Anyway, let me pull it up. I feel like that the high resolution of it isn't the point of what we're going for. It's really just the like, maybe that could be what the design is. Let me just pull it into live streams. Let me see, Spirit. Let's put Spirit Queen. All right, let me pull it up and show you guys. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Grab this one, move this over here, and picture. Okay, so let me bring it over. Where the hell is it? There it is. It's so small. This picture. Let me enlarge it. Look at some of the aspects around it. Obviously, it's not the best resolution, but like look at like around the sword. Like there's even a keyhole shape in it. Like I feel like I've always felt like this is Hiroshima, just kind of giving a hint of what it will be like when Lucy finally gets the Celestial Spirit Queen form. Like all keys in one just seems like it'd be really OP. So like I feel like that's gonna have to be like the last form that she gets. I don't know. It seems like it'd be pretty broken. Lucy versus Wendy. I still put body on Wendy. Full body hockey plus Devil Fruit Awakening. I really wish that Oda just gave Luffy Awakening in the Katakuri fight, and then, he used this arc. Like, right now with all the stuff in the prison, this would be his time to train Awakening and, like, master it. And that would be a logical way for him to, jump up to, like, level with, like, Kaido and stuff. Because we already knew he was around Commander level and without Awakening. So it's like Awakening probably would give you a significant boost. Maybe make him, like, the weakest of the Yonko, but still comparable somewhat. And then you wouldn't have to deal with, Luffy got another power. Oh, another power. It's like, no, just give him Awakening. Because now if he gets Awakening in this arc, like fighting Kaido, or conveniently in the next arc, whatever happens then, it'll feel a little bit too formulaic that, like, this is the second arc where Luffy was losing, and then he's like, oh, I forgot a lesson that Riley taught me, or this aspect of hockey that I can learn that I'm going to do mid-fight. And it's like, just give him Awakening. Just give him Awakening. God. Or what's that? You read that. Most overrated shonen. I read that. Frieza. Frieza gets joked on right now. It's annoying. Will the Vivid join E0 crew? I don't want her to be converted. I like where she's at as just being like a bully, because she's not a serious bad character, but at the same time, you always know that her being around means she's up to something. Goku is an idiot. Yeah, he's pretty retarded. Tower of Heaven, Dragon Force Natsu versus Reincarnation Vito. Oh, Natsu would just straight to throw punches at him and blow him apart. Like, he was Wizard Saint level at that. He could trash Jalal. Like, that is like, the captains and the Wizard Saints seem around like the same level of power level to me, for the most part. Not all of them, like, the super gigantic Makarov, like, seems too big. Like, he seems like he'd crush any of the captains by themselves. But, take, like, Jura, like, of that, or Jalal at the time, like, seems comparable. But, so, like, Dragon Force Natsu at the time would completely body the living hell out of Vito. Boruto's still trash. The manga is not bad. The manga is actually doing pretty good right now. I'm actually happy with the manga right now. Eden Zero needs its own art style. No, this is Hiromishima's art style. Like, this is where he's at. This is perfect for him. It's clean. It doesn't look goofy. It holds his own art style. It doesn't need its own art style. This is Hiromishima's art style as this artist. I like it when you can tell, like a series, like who the artist is just by looking at the art, because they have that just definitive style. Tenka's brother can travel between the Battle Neon worlds and the human world, where his sword and uses is it supposed to be taijutsu or laijutsu? Once again, sounds familiar.
That one I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of that one. Whose copy magic do you think is better, Rise or August? August, because when he copies, he can become immune to whatever theirs is. I think that's the OP thing about his extra. August only has to see her. No, he doesn't need to see her magic. He copied people's magic without seeing them before. Like what was it? He copied. I mean, I guess you can say like Meteor. I don't think Jalal used it, at least what we saw, but he could say it. But just like Fire in general, like he just saw Natsu learn Fire. And even if you kind of take that away, like it's too OP that he can become immune to the magic he learns. Fuegoleon is an elf. That's too strong. Invul versus Merleon. Invul would just freeze both of them. He'd move his hand and completely ice over the whole area and take out everybody there. Where was I? I didn't mean to skip over some stuff. Okay, here we go. She's an asshole, yeah. Yeah, she's horrible. What the fuck? I thought, oh yeah, that chick, yeah, she's a bitch fucker. That monster. The demon dragons have an attack called Gekirin, which is similar to Vegeta's final explosion. Oh, the big just AoE burst. That's always really popular, just that large energy surge. You see that explosion that happened in Russia a few days ago? That was crazy. I mean, like how Urza mixed and matched swords in the armor. Yeah, she did that in the anime, but I don't remember her having anything similar in the manga. Because now it's not like she's not, oh, I can use this sword while in this armor. She's combining the effects of them, which is cool. I would love to see Asta's swords float like Sora's. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Like, we talked about in the stream. It's cool. I mean, you could kind of maybe get, like, his anti-magic to, like, form, like, a hand to hold them. Like, I don't know if they could straight float, but maybe he can, like, stack them on his wings or something. Maybe kind of, like, stick them in there and then hold them. I don't know. I think that... Oh my god, you can. I'm sorry. Don't know if the yawning bothers people, but I apologize for the out of nowhere yawn. I didn't have time to mute my mic in that one. Sora Ultimate Form versus Sin Devil Trigger Dante. Oh, Sora would win. Sora's crazy strong. I'm gonna believe she's able to fuse Star Dresses and Alvarez. She'd beat Brandish. Oh yeah, I feel like if she was this powerful, then she probably could. Whereas, like, that's the question though. We have to see the display. We have to wait another week to see like how strong she is. Like, is there going to be new abilities that she unlocks by fusing them? I hope that noise in the background isn't too loud. Oh, let me see. Oh, that's definitely here. You can definitely hear that in the back. Listen to that. It's like a little machine for my cat's litter box. Don't worry about that. It's slowly moving around. Tower of Heaven Jalal versus Patri. Patriot's faster, but I feel like if he got hit by Grand Chariot, it'd be over. And Jalal has a much wider arsenal. Like, he has, like, also, like, the Bind Snake. And that would pretty much just, like, give him that moment. Because, like I said, all it takes is Grand Chariot. And Patriot would pretty much be down. And he could... they can both fly. And then I don't think he would be able to stop Abyss Break. Because Abyss Break was going to take out the entire tower. Fuegoleon, yeah, you read that. Fuegoleon versus Nozel. I'm going to go into Fuegoleon. I'll still go with Fuegoleon. I'd rather be Eden... I'd rather Eden Zero be more power-based. I'm hoping it's more technology-based. Like, weapons hatred can be powerful as long as you can control yourself. That's true. That's what Toriko did. Reasoning Wendy beats Lucy. She just seems more powerful. Like, again, like, the fact that she was able to take the same hits that Laxus and like, Natsu and Gajeel all were taking from Aknologi, it just... the level of durability she has is so commendable. We already know from the fight also with Eileen that Wendy is around high Enchantress level. So that's already pretty strong. She can cancel out buffs and status effects on top of buffing herself. Like, she just has a lot going on for her, too. That's one giant sword that makes that's one giant sword that makes Cloud jealous. Oh, that's a super big sword. Most overrated shonen protagonist. Before and now. I think it's still Luffy. I'm not a fan of Luffy personally. I don't really like his character too much. He's kind of boring to me. And yeah, people act like he's the best character ever. I mean, you could like him, but like at the same time, it's like there's so many characters with so much more development. They've done more in their series. They have like more complex stories. Luffy's not a bad character, but like people act like he's the greatest thing ever. Kagura versus Jack the Ripper. That's a little hard because Jack's thing is Jax can adapt his swords to like other people's magic, but like what would he adapt to Kagura's? Kagura has more range. Her sword seems stronger. She's also got gravity manipulation to hold them in place.
I'm gonna go with Kagura for now until we see more about Jack, because we didn't get a lot of his spells, but we only got like his normal kind of like standard like straight attack ones. Yeah, I mean he's an elf. Everyone is an elf. Where does Urza combine effects in the manga? I'm not doubting you. I don't remember. Oh, and when she was against Kiria, because I go back to like let me go over let me find the exact chapter. When she used her dragon slaying sword, Belsarion against Kiria, she doesn't fight her in the she doesn't fight her in her fire pants. She actually fought her in her Flame Empress armor, and she combined the two, because when she uses her attack, you see fire around her, and whenever let me find the name of the attack that she used. Oh my god, I don't know what's up with the Weekly Sorcerer. They've been really slow lately. I'm actually really happy, because one of the people on there, like, she does, like, an Acnologia fanfiction, and she actually, draws it, and she got her thing on there, which is good, because she seems really nice, but, like, the people who run the Weekly Sorcerer, I have beef with, so... I still have this Celestial Spirit, like, theory, Lucy on there. Let me get back to actual Lucy. Let me see. I'm trying to find that chapter. Unfortunately, there we go. I think it's one page back. God, it's so slow right now. How is their website so slow? Yeah, there we go. Of course, the one page I'm looking for is deciding that it's going to take a good chunk of time to load. I'll come back in a second. I'll talk to you guys for a second and come back to that. I'll come back. Yeah, I'll come back to your second comment. Oh, yeah, Deku's pretty overrated, but Deku's a cool guy. The thing about this, Luffy's like, people act like Luffy's the greatest character ever, and it's just like, stop, just quit it. Tower, yeah, I already answered that one. Jalal versus Lick. I'm going Jalal, because Jalal, when he got mad at Nineheart for hurting Urza, like, him flexing, like, cleared out the whole sky. His magic covered the sky from horizon to horizon. That's, like, pretty crazy. Like, he cleared out every single cloud, and he affected the atmosphere enough that you could see the night sky. That's pretty, absurd about Jalal's power. Ultir versus Julius. I mean, Julius wouldn't be able to affect him. Like, I don't think they... But all she'd really be able to do is, like, use, like, her flash forward and stuff. Like, Ultir's strong, but she's not nearly as combat, like, skilled as Julius. But Julius... I don't know. I'm gonna go with Julius because he has a higher level of power, like in terms of just like his raw magical amount. Because I mean, I guess he could still affect her because like she doesn't use her magic to affect bodies and stuff. It's kind of like hard to think about because I guess we never saw Kagura use like any of her, not Kagura, Ultir use her Arc of Time on herself. Like there was no like time effect on her. Like obviously the aspect never existed when time was stopped, but that's like the portion that came out when she used Lost Ages. Yeah, I'm gonna go Julius. Like I feel like his spells would work on her. I don't know. Anyway, okay, let me see that page. Yeah, she uses Flame Emperor's Sword and Flame Blade, and then sends Kiria up, and then Kiria goes, Urza just kind of goes straight up in the air. And as she combines it, you can see the fire around it. She has fire in the sword, which is cool. I'm curious why that you have that like black color around the sword. Like I wonder if it's supposed to be black or if it's only that because of the ink. Like what, you got God slaying going on, or is it what's going on there? But let's see. When he survived one hit, she took more than one. She definitely took more than one. I'm gonna go back and look how many because I remember the chapters. I mean, even tanking one is still like absurd. Like that's still really high. Because Acnologia was enough that he could one-shot Spriggan level people. So obviously, Wendy being able to take any attacks from him is still, like, gigantic. I mean, she didn't die. Like, the fact that she's able to, like, continue onward after that is just, like, goddamn, Wendy. You're definitely a durable powerhouse. I mean, seriously, come on, man. I'm looking at it. She definitely... pretty sure she took more than one, but like I said, taking even one is still a lot. It's still really like impressive. I mean, it's definitely beyond like what most characters in the series have, and it makes sense because the most consistent thing about Dragon Slayers is that they're very durable. Durability is their MO. Like that's the main thing that they always have, regardless if they have a hacks more like Cobra or like Stings, or it seems more of like it's having that holy attribute to it. But they're all durable. Jackal versus Merliona.
Uh, See, the thing about that is Marileona. The biggest thing about her it wouldn't work on him because like the biggest, most useful thing about her is that she can burn people's magic, so she can burn like mana skin and stuff, and you wouldn't be able to really use magic normally to escape when she gets Callous Brachian Barrage. But Jackal uses cursed power, so I feel like, and especially like with her, if she gets like punches it on him, she's gonna turn into herself into a bomb, and that's internal damage. So I'm gonna give my money to Jackal, to be perfectly honest, just because of like he takes away that one of Marileona's biggest things is that she can burn magic from people's bodies. Like that's a really impressive thing she can do. I think Goku's over. Yeah, Goku too. Goku's definitely pretty overrated. Nozelli forced Patriot to defend, reflecting more than 50 attacks. Yeah, he had a lot of his thing is because he countered Patriot, and it wasn't as powerful. But I mean, with his speed, like there's no way that Fuego Leon can't keep up, especially now with Salamander, and he's gonna get Spirit Dive eventually, and that's already gonna be really crazy when he develops that. If you guys people suffering in one way or another, and you two will suffer in your own way. Carrying each other's suffering together can push you through. Yeah, some people are too mean. One thing I don't like about My Hero Academia fan base is they overhype the whole show. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, My Hero Academia fan base, there's a lot of toxicity to it. Jura versus Mars. I'm gonna go Jura because Jura would get in close range, and I think he has the level of power to take him out. Marileona versus Wendy. I'm going with Wendy. Like I said, Wendy is way too powerful. I think that people overlook. Hopefully, if she ends up getting the fight that I want, it will end up giving some more clarity to how strong she is. Like she was already really powerful. Like Eileen straight commented on how much power she had still hidden within her. Like she's definitely a really strong character, and she's only been fighting for a couple years, and she's gone from only having one attack spell, which is a roar, to being like actually very combat competent. Like seriously, people need to give her some goddamn credit. Delor Smash. Do you like Asta's attack better or Deku's? I like Asta's because I like... I mean, Deku... I feel like Deku's going to get cool combo attack soon, but Asta just got Black Divider, and that was such a cool attack. I love that, like, last one where he's like, I'm going to surpass my limits, and then he, made Black Divider gigantic and just that massive cleave. Oh, 1 second, I gotta at one of my friends really quick. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I don't skip over anything. Okay, read that. Okay, yeah. I don't know if you can hear in the background my cat as she's hissing at my other cat. When did you continue afterwards? I'm talking about the fact that she stayed conscious. She was still able to cast spells because she's the one that enchanted Natsu. She was still able to... The fact that she wasn't dead was, like, beyond most characters. Because Agnologia already one-shot God Serena. This wasn't normal Agnologia. This was post-eating the space between time Agnologia, which made him multiple times stronger. And he ended up not killing them all in one shot, which says a lot about them. Jira versus Mars. Yeah, I answered that. Eric was done fighting. Oh no, he got hit a couple times. It was that big attack because one of them when Acnologia hit him, I think he actually kicked him, and then you saw like a claw-shaped like bit of energy go through his body, and he was like spitting up blood because that did internal damage. That part was pretty sick. I think that was in 541. I'm just going back to check right now. Just because that part is really cool. Because that reinforced one of the things I actually noticed about Acnologia, which was cool, but we didn't get to see a lot about him, is like, whereas Natsu uses like punches, Acnologia uses like claws. Like he's not going for like hits a lot of time. He has his hand shaped like a claw, and then you see that like attack on Cobra, and you just see it like come out the other side of his body, like edged tips of his claws, and just getting ready. 1 second, I'm answering stuff. Oh, someone's car alarm is going off. Okay, there you go. I was like, I'm gonna have to go open the freaking window, or go close the window if they just leave it. One time someone left theirs on for like, I think it was like a half hour. They just never noticed their car alarm had been going ape shit. But I mean, let me get back to some of these comments. Azuma versus Fuego Leon with Salamander. Is this a Zuma just normal, or is this a Zuma with like the Sirius Island tree? Because with the tree, definitely wins. Without it, I'd say Fuego Leon definitely wins. Dengasporum would kill. Dengasporum would kill Acnologia. He doesn't use magic. Yeah, but Acnologia is still OP, dude. The dude literally couldn't be killed by time itself in like a time paradox, like universe, like natural law or racing aspect. He literally ate a concept of reality. You think Noelle will get the Water Spear? A lot of people think that. It would have to be a while from now. Like, it seems like something for, but as of right now, I feel like it'd be too OP. But I want her to get it. But at the same time, it's like I don't want her to be too broken. Maybe when she becomes like vice captain and she needs it. I don't know. Azumi already read that. Zonkenryu can kill dragons. I mean, how powerful is Tenka? Is he able to fight guys who destroy whole planets? Because Acnologia was already like a world ender before the space between time, and then he ate it, and that was when I actually believed a little bit in the hype. Because when we saw Eternal Flare, you can see like a planetary curve, and it was going beyond the horizon. It was pretty wild. Can Yami cut the rift in time? No, he cannot, because that's not. It's not the same as like a pocket dimension. It's a straight aspect of reality. Hi, buddy. You coming back? You want to say hi to anybody in the stream yet? I hope the window's open, so my other cat's just sitting out there, looking, trying not to sulk. I'm not trying to downplay Wendy, but Philone doesn't put her above Lucy. I mean, it does. The fact she didn't die from space between time, like boosted Acnologia, is ridiculous. That's crazy. All of them got huge durability. I know Fuego Leon will get stronger, but right now, I don't know. I don't think so. I think that he would win. Plus, you know, fire against metal, he could make it so Fuego or Nozelle's attacks wouldn't stay in solid shape; they would melt. But Salamander already alone, I think, puts him above. If you took away Salamander, it'd be like, yeah, I can see like, you know, an argument there. After getting Salamander, I just don't see Nozelle really right now being able to beat him. It'd be cool if Nozelle actually got... Could you imagine if he got... if his Mercury was classified more underwater because, you know, liquid metal, and then he got the Water Spirit and not Noelle? That would probably screw with people's heads. Who do you think is more disappointing, Zero Squad or the Four Gods of Ishgard? Oh, the Zero Squad. Because the Zero Squad... The Four Gods of Ishgard at least got a little bit to do. Like, some of the members of the Zero Squad, like, because you got to see one of them, Ichibe, you got full on, like, to see how crazy he was. And, like, the Four Gods of Ishgard, you got to see aspects of him. There was a little bit of hype around him, but, like, there was way more hype. And, like, for the Zero Squad, and we actually, like, saw them a lot more, because, like, there was a point when Ichigo was with them, and we saw a bunch of, like, of time with them. We learned about each of them. You know, we found out, like, their importance. Like, you know, oh, hey, I made the Zanpakuto. Hey, I made names for the swords. Hey, I created, what were the other ones? Because there were 5. Oh, yeah, like, what was one? She's like, oh, I made, one of them was, she was like one of them was like a scientist. I think the really fat chick, she was like, no, because she had like the fat form and skin form. I don't remember the other 3, but you know, they all did something really big, or 2 actually, I think. This one dude, yeah, the guy who made Zanpakuto was the dude with like the pompadour or whatever that was supposed to be. But they had a lot of like built-in hype also around just like that, and other than Ichibe, they didn't do anything. Like, it was really weird. And it sucked because they had like, it wasn't like they needed to get rushed. Like, they pretty much just got killed off. It felt like Kubo just didn't want to use him. I don't know. Mercury to affect opponent being Shonen Nozelle's mana amount, his magic power. I think the thing that Nozelle has against, that is actually like an advantage he would have against Fuego Leon, is it is Mercury, so it would have a poison effect if it got in his body. Goku, Naruto, and Luffy versus Thanos. Oh no, so I don't know, Jared Punch, if you only know Thanos from the movie. The Thanos in the comics does not need he does not need the Infinity Stones. They made him so much weaker in the movie than he actually is. Noelle versus Luck. Oh, I'm going with Noelle easy. Natsu killed Acnologia with power of friendship. No, he didn't. He killed Acnologia because Acnologia was massively weakened and held in place by motion sickness of his physical body. Natsu had a 7-fold Dragon Force that was the highest level we've ever seen him, because if you go back and look, it was actually enough that it was agitating and, like, you know, triggering something within Igneel scales, because Natsu's scarf actually changed during that. They became way more like, I want to say like thick. I don't really know what word to describe them, but I guess I can really just like they agitate them. There was a level of effect to them. Go back and look at that. Like Natsu's scarf became way different, and also like Acnologia like instinctually went to go try and guard with the arm that Igneel took. So like he did something just out of muscle memory, and that screwed him over because he wasn't used to fighting with only one arm. So it was not. It was rushed. Like, their fight definitely was rushed, but it's like they beat him in a way that made sense. And that was the thing that I actually really liked. And at the same time, it kept Acnologia's hype, because one of the things they did to defeat him is they exploited his weakness. They exploited the known, since Chapter 1, weakness of motion sickness that Dragon Slayers have. And it was consistent. Even Acnologia was able to get weakened by this. And that's the reason, like, that he was able to, they were able to defeat him. Like, it made sense, and it held on to his, like, legitimacy. Also for Wizard King, I'm going for Fuego Leon, I'm telling you. Battle Neon's power levels are pretty high. I mean, I mentioned my characters being able to travel through dimensions. I mean, that's just travel. I mean, like, Acnologia, like I said, he ate a concept of reality. I already explained how dragons are weak. Well, dragons aren't weak to dragon slaying magic. They completely void out their ability to just straight up be resistant to it, because, you know, their scales kind of like nullify magic. They can get past that. That's why when Wendy used a roar on Zirconia, I always forget if his name is, I think it's Zirconis. I always think Zirconia because, like, was it cubic zirconium? But when Wendy used a roar on him, he felt the pain, but he didn't take, there was no signs of damage. He just, you know, seemed like, you know, I guess it'd be like if someone pinched you. It doesn't mean it's gonna, like, drastically hurt you, but you just felt that general pain. Demon slaying and god slaying definitely do extra percentages of damage when used against them, because they're straight more of counters than, you know, being able to get past that. Because, as we know, at least, gods and demons don't have that just, like, immunity to these abilities, whereas dragons, like, have that natural immunity. I already explained. Yeah, exactly. Lucy and Wendy have always been comparable. I don't know, man. Lucy, she's strong. I don't think she's as powerful as Wendy. And Wendy learned how to achieve natural dragon force at will. Like, that's, I don't see Lucy being able to compete, and she could probably do like a further version now, or she's gonna be able to have like Sky Dragon Queen mode or something. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, Wendy's just always been very powerful. Kenpachi with Bankai versus Human Acnologia. I would go with Acnologia because even though Kenpachi is very powerful, he doesn't have a lot of form to him, and another character who's just like a straight, like, get in there savage brawler, and especially like the size of his sword, like, I think Acnologia would just have to, you know, move around the sword and then beat him. But plus, even though Kenpachi, his sword isn't like a weird power, like, it gives him like kind of just like this, it's pseudo, apparently he can cut anything. Oh, Bankai especially, Bankai's just a straight boost, but at the same time, like, his Bankai he can't control. But, like, his sword is still, like, the power that it makes it is still Reishi, or Ryatsu, I don't remember how to pronounce it, base, so Acnologia would be able to eat the effects on it, and he's still got, like, the power within him, and his attacks would still have aspects of Ryatsu in it, so Acnologia, just because you have that energy equivalency, he should be able to eat it. I love Fairy Tail, but even I can't ignore its flaws. So the thing about Makarov's revival, the way that Hiramashima explained it made sense. I understand its logic. I don't think it should have been Makarov. I think it should have been handled a little bit differently. Like, maybe, I don't know. I think it just should have been Makarov. There should have been some way that it didn't affect, like, maybe it just straight healed Natsu to full, and then he got to go fight Acnologia. I think that would have been a little, you know, made a little bit more sense. I didn't have a problem with the logic, but I would have preferred that Makarov stayed dead. This is just because he had a really good out, and it's like you revived him, and he's already like 90, and he's like got heart problems, and now he can barely walk. Like, let the dude rest already. Oh, that comment's not at me. Which form is stronger? Natsu's curse powers ED to 7. The 7 Fire Dragon form is the strongest, and the reason I think that is, I think it's even stronger than the Aetherius Dragon Force that he had against, that he used against Mercephobia, is because when Natsu used the 7 Fire Dragons version of Dragon Force, like I said, you actually can see the scales on his scarf, like, kind of plume up. Go back and look at that. Go back and look. I think it's in chapter chapter 544, that his scales are still like really, really just kind of like, I guess I keep trying to figure out a word for them, but like agitated, maybe in bloom. It's a very weird design. You know, they look almost feather-like, really. They just look like a crazier, like thicker style of feathers or of scales to him. Igneo versus Animus of Dragon Ball. Igneo would absolutely murder him. He would murder Animus. Like, Animus is strong, but Animus wasn't... I think he's, like, that step right before, like, when you get to, like, a Royal Dragon. Like, he's still really strong, but I wouldn't put him at, like even, like, Igneo or, Eileen level. Let's see. Fuego Beyond melts a big quantity of mercury. It would be, yeah, that's true, but I feel like because it's magic based, and he would still have a level of being able to like go against it with Mana Skin, because we know it gives them a level of resistance to elements and stuff. The guy stated that only one wound for mercury magic can lead to death. Yeah, that's true, but he would have to get in there, and like again. If it was pre-Salamander, I think there was a much more argument of there's a much larger argument of their fight, but I think with Salamander it's too much for him. Wait, I didn't know Natsu's scarf changed. I'll post a panel if you guys want. Let me pull it up. It's really it's weird because you don't actually. I'll just go look at 545. Like it starts I think. Right after Acnologia starts to feel the effects of... right after he starts to feel the effects of motion sickness. Look at Natsu's scarf. Go back and look, Jason. If you go look at it, it's altered. It has like a weird... it has like this weird effect that it kind of... Like I said, it looks almost feather-like. At the same time, Wendy got Dragon Forces when Lucy got Stardress. Oh, no, she... I mean, yeah, at Awakening, but, like, the level from Stardress that boosts is not even close to the level that Dragon Force gives. Dragon's pretty much power itself, as far as I'm concerned. Well, yeah, they were, like, a one dragon was enough to go against an entire country in Fairy Tail. They were the equivalent of, like, they could pretty much go out and just decimate a country. But, yeah, in Acnologia, you could just run through them like nothing. I didn't really like the Alvarez arc. That's just my opinion. I like the Alvarez arc. I think the pacing just picked up a lot near the end of it, but I need to do my theory video so I can, because I keep wanting to go over it, but I want to go over it in a video so people can anytime you want to think about it, get my opinion on it, you can go look at that. I'll drop that at some point, maybe in the next couple days. Who do you think is better, anti-hero, Zeref or Lelouch? Well, Zeref is an anti-hero. Zeref, I wouldn't put them as either anti-heroes. I guess more of like kind of good antagonists with good hearts, but I'd go with Zeref because. Though I really like Lelouch, there's so much to Zeref. There's so many different sides to his character. Like, I was talking to someone recently, and just even, like, small stuff, like the fact he wanted to be defeated because he didn't... Even though he wanted to do all this stuff, like, he still didn't want to get rid of the world where he met Mavis. And it's just, like, real sad. I love the dude. I wonder what the E&D book actually says. Zeref took his sweet time making it. It's about his life. It's about, like, pretty much all information on Natsu. That's why when, like, he got the hole in his body, like, parts of it was disappearing, but, like, once they were put back in, there was that chunk of his stomach that it was there, but it was like it never been damaged because it was put back good as new. Any information on it that, like, of it taking damage was probably gone. Because imagine, like, if you rewrote stuff in the book, it would probably change aspects about Natsu. How is 7 Element Dragon was stronger than the Absorbed Ignite Fire? He barely scraped off winning attack Logia with an ass load of limitations after eating Inspired Season. Yeah, but the 7 Dragon Gods are comparable to Acnologia prior to Space Between Time, whereas obviously this is post Space Between Time Acnologia. But also, like I said, go look at the chapter, go look at the scales. If you go look at the scales on Natsu's scarf when he was in that form, there was enough like dragon power pretty much within him that it was like awakening Igneel scales, which I thought was really cool. But let me see where I was, and because we're at about 2 hours, I'm probably gonna end the stream in a couple minutes. See how many freaking messages I got on Twitter, people yelling at me about something. I don't know. What do you think of the death battle Urza vs. Zoro? It was trash. It was absolute trash because at the time of it was right before Urza fought Eileen, so it was before the meteor feat. But even before that, they didn't include the fact that Urza drove a spear, or not a spear, she drove a lance through Kyoka, through one side of the cube, through the center point of gravity, and then out the other side, and then like that alone is really impressive because you'd have to be able to break the gravitational level of that in order to go through the center. Like, well, the death battles, they have some that are accurate, but you can tell some of them that they don't put any effort. I remember they called Natsu a bounty hunter, and I was just like, no. And Natsu versus Ace wouldn't be a fight, because the biggest thing about Ace is that he's got an elemental body, and Dragon Slayers can touch their elements like physical matter, so, you know, Ace being able to turn to fire wouldn't matter at all. But Urza was able to fight with none of her senses. Like, that's really impressive. That just gives her a higher level. She actually has more swordsmanship skill than Zoro. Like, she can fight with swords between her toes and shit. She has way more going on for her. And if you try and argue, like, certain aspects of, like, oh, Zoro is able to do this. Like, Urza's done more impressive things, and she scales higher for being able to, like, compete with Spriggan. Like, the fact she was able to take... Because that was before the meteor, but she was also already shown to be able to take attacks from Eileen and keep up with her, which is far beyond anything Zoro's done so far. Like, their death battles sucked. If you had a quirk, what would it be? I mean, I guess it would depend if I want to be a superhero or supervillain, or just like a power. I mean, if I had a power, I would want something kind of like... I feel like Spider-Man has, like, probably one of the most clean powers. Because you have, like... You get, like, durability, super strength, super speed, you got webs, you got spider sense. Maybe something like that, or if maybe, like, I guess if it's quirk, I have to pick something from My Hero Academia. I don't know, I like Gentle's quirk a lot. I think Gentle's is one of the coolest. Because it's just so versatile. The way they choreograph the fight, sickening. Oh, yeah, they didn't even use things that were... Because the furthest that they got for Urza at the time was where Urza went through the cube. That was the furthest thing that they ever talked about from Urza. And she was like, that was, I'm trying to think right off the top of my head. That's around chapter, I think 370 something. I think around 370. Somewhere around that area, just off the top of my head. And at a time of Fairy Tail was at 512, 515 or something. And they just stopped, like, in the middle of an arc. And then they used anime feats. They used, like, the explosion from her fight with Nightwalker, which was way less impressive than in the manga. Like, in the anime, it looks like they just kind of, like, break it apart, where in the manga, it's pretty much just obliterated. They just leave it as dust. Like, it was silly. They didn't talk about, like, a lot of stuff that Urza can do. They didn't even mention her fire pants in Yodo Benny Sakura, because that's one of her biggest things. Like, Zoro is the straight, just speed... power swordsman. Yodo Benny Sakura, literally all it does is give Urza higher attack and speed. So even if you argue, oh, Zoro's faster, which he isn't, Zoro's more powerful, which he isn't, even at the time, Urza would just jump into Yodo Benny Sakura. She's able to make herself multiple times faster and stronger. Because, like, back with Ikaruga, she couldn't even see Ikaruga move. And then when she was able to pretty much abandon defense, go straight offense, she was able to perceive for attacks. So it's just like, that. There's a large multiplier in there that she was able to achieve. Like, it's so annoying. Fastest Fairy Tail character? Right now, I just have the suspicions that it's going to be Selene, the Moon Dragon Goddess. That's my suspicions right now. But, like, that's suspicions. In terms of actual speed, probably Acnologia. I mean, the dude was able to just completely blitz a Spriggan, like, no problem. Absolutely no problem, just, like, walk through. Spriggan versus Stern Ritter? There's way more Stern Ritter, but a lot of the Stern Ritter have shit powers. I mean, but they have absolutely zero counter to a lot of what the Spriggan can do. I'm going to go to Spriggan because really Demaria can just stop time and just behead a bunch of them. Like, Demaria being able to stop time is such a useful... Like, it's a universally good power. Like, it's time stop. Like, freaking time stop. It's hard to argue against it. And then, like, Brandish can snap her fingers, make organs explode out of chests and stuff. August could copy their abilities. Eileen could just drop meteors on them, drain their powers. Like, one thing she actually do that's really interesting is she can use Berserk, because she has that Berserk buff that she can put on people. It makes them stronger, but they lose all consciousness. They just become like this mindless Berserker, and then, you know, they'll just attack anybody. Acting like it's sealed inside Very Spear, doesn't have space-time magic. It seals it away. I mean, yeah, but they weren't sealed away yet. He wasn't gone. All it was at that point was a barrier. And then, what? Like, he wasn't... they didn't steal his power. It didn't cancel out his ability, like his boost from space between time. And all it did was, like, the motion sickness made him way weaker, because motion sickness actually makes Dragon Slayers weaker because they can't muster up the magic, so they can't have any of their stats. Because they're all of their abilities, stats, and, like, statistics are all based off of, you know, their level of magic. Because, like, even if you try to say, like, because Fairy Sphere doesn't, it turns them all into straight magic, turns them all into Ether Nano, and, like, does, like, weird time-space shit. But that wouldn't do anything to Acnologia, because if it did that, he'd just eat it. Like, the thing was that it wasn't Fairy Sphere that was his turn on, it was motion sickness, and then Fairy Sphere was holding him in place. You know, he's trying just to literally get off the ship, but every single time he's just ramming into the shield of Fairy Sphere, and he just falls back onto the ship. That was what screwed him over, because they can't deal with motion sickness. In fact, Urza could tank any attack from Kumitsu. Urza would completely murder him. Here's one thing that's funny. So Zoro didn't actually learn how to cut metal until the Alabasta arc, but Urza's always been able to cut metal. Like, she started out more powerful. She's always been more powerful. She's at a larger scale. Which is funny because she's stronger, but, like, Zoro wins way more fights because he just trashes people, and yet nobody complains when Zoro's been, like, undefeated in a while. Think we'll ever see Aang Saram? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping Toka has sights on him, because logically, because she talked about Zareth, and Zareth being, you know, black magic in her eyes being evil, or at least not white, as she says, with her white doctrine. Ankh Saram should be on there, because he logically can make another Zareth at any time, because he could easily curse another person, and then walk them down the same path that, Zareth went. Can't August only copy magic? It's like copy and learn. Like, I just, like, coughed in the middle of that very lightly. He can copy it, but learn how to use it at the same time, but also he becomes immune to it. DC Wonder Woman versus Urza. I think Urza, like, DC Wonder Woman, she was not very powerful. I know India Thanos was nerfed. Oh, he's way nerfed. Oh, in the movies, he's pretty much just has super strength. He's way stronger in the comic books. Screw Attack never mentioned Earth's breaking the spear. Urza's Sisyphus way more versatility. Yeah, Urza's pretty powerful. What's your favorite shonen rival? Oh, that is easy. That belongs to the one and only Seto Kaiba. 100%. Most underrated shonen protagonist? Toriko. Yeah, it's definitely Toriko. Do you think Urza, Grand Chariot and Dragon Cry was an Aspel? No, I think we just never got any information on it. Like, it's not unlikely. Like, Grand Chariot, it's... Because she, like, learned already how to counter... Because she learned in the fight, like, how to counteract, you know, the style of fighting she was dealing with. But Grand Chariot was just that kind of big icing on it. Like, she could have gone Nakagami, or she could have just, like, straight up went to Armed Dura Fairy. But she did it. She, for some reason, did Grand Chariot. But it was weird because she had already turned the fight around in her favor because she figured out how to counter her opponent, but just pulled out Grand Meteor for, like, no reason. It's weird because it's like, I don't feel like it's an Aspel, but it's just like, are we ever going to get information on this? Like, it's such a weird thing. Fairy Spirit doublizes, mobilizing him, stripping him of his time. Nothing in there was stated that it affects his time ability, the abilities he got from the space between time. Nothing in there says that. I don't think there was a single statement that says that using Fairy Sphere on him was going to affect his magic that he gained. Was there a single statement, or are you assuming this? Because logically, we know that Fairy Sphere does some weird time-space shit, but not until it's gone. Like, it was still there. Like, it clearly was not present after Acnologia's roar, and the magic was still there, so it would have to disappear to take the full effect. Like, other than that, it doesn't really weigh in the exact same, because the effects never went fully off. Like, come on, man. I don't think there was a single statement that said, like, oh yeah, while in Fairy Sphere, he's gonna lose his powers as a space between time. Where does it say that at all? He couldn't use these powers because of motion sickness. Motion sickness, literally, like they already said, that they can't pull out the same level of magic while under the effects of it, which not being able to pull out the same level of magic means you're not going to be able to muster up the same levels of stats, not going to be able to use the same level of defense, offense, speed, and that's just going to screw you over overall. Fact that Acnologia, the strongest for Akino's weakness is motion sickness. I mean, it's not like, oh, that's his weakness. It's like, that's the Dragon Slayer weakness. We don't know why 5th gen is, but it's not like, we got the explanation from Eileen. It's not like, oh, they're weak to motion sickness because, you know, it's just a thing. It's because their human body, it's because their bodies, like, the way that, you know, even though they can turn into dragons, they become dragon-like. There's not originally designed to be able to take their high level of senses. There's a comment about it. I don't remember. It's like part of your ear that has to do with balance, because you have like a dragon one, which is like too much for the human body. Motion sickness like messes with it. That's why it doesn't do the same for like animals, I imagine, like Happy and like the legions, because it's probably more animalistic like, so it probably feels more natural. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So Fairy Sphere, it doesn't matter because the cast never got finished because it was still present. There was no, because we know when it's fully cast, when it's done, Fairy Sphere disappears. It doesn't just stay there. Like after it got cast originally, they were gone for 7 years. It just vanished. There's no indication that he lost his powers. And we already know that Acnologia, even if it's time magic, he's immune to it. So it doesn't matter. He's completely immune to time magic. So using time magic on him would not work. It was completely the fact that he had motion sickness, because it also rendered his body like immobile over inside of the space between time too. People theorize that Jalal taught Urza during the time skip. Yeah, there's a lot of theories. Like I said, it's weird because I don't think it's an asshole, because she used it to finish off the fight, but she didn't need to. It just kind of felt like she just did it cuz. But the question is like, why did she have Grand Chariot? Maybe it'll get explained eventually. I don't know. If Acnologia is immune to Fairy Sphere, why is he mobile? Because he was weak to motion sickness. What do you mean? It was the motion sickness. He wasn't able... When you get motion sickness, you can't muster up your power. Like, we already know that. It's not like you're just sick. They literally can't pull out their same magical ability. Like, go back and, like, look at, like, any time that they've, like, been under motion sickness. They can't use the same level of magic, so you're not getting the same level of speed, power, durability... It's not going to happen. And we already know, like, look at when Face went off. Like, taking away his magic, and he's just a big reptile. Like, Igneo at that point was beating him easy. Would actual dragons have motion sickness? No, because the reason... I'd have to find the exact panel. Eileen explained... It's explained during the end of Eileen's flashback, and it has to do with part of their body when they become dragon-like. It's, like, part of their ear. I think it's something to do in their ear that has to do with balance. I have to remember. I don't remember the exact description, but I remember where it's at. I think it's 514. I think it's right before Eileen showed it. Like, yeah. She says, like, that dragon's vision is not comparable with the sensory systems and caused incapacitating illness. So any parts of your body, like there's... they say the vision, but, it's the same description, so I imagine it is just... in general, parts of them. So, it's somewhat, but we know it's the same description, so it kind of falls into that same area at the same time, but, whatever. But we know, like, how it works, so... Yeah, it completely just renders them unable to do stuff. Yeah, Anna came out of nowhere. I mean, Anna makes sense. Anna filled in a lot of questions, like Natsu's scarf, like where, if they came through the Eclipse Gate, like who helped lead them. I mean, she didn't really entirely come out of the dark, because we found out about her the first time when Lucy and Brandish were in Star Memory. It's stacking factors. No, it is not. No, it is not. If he's literally eaten time. He's literally eaten a concept of the universe, a law of the universe that when put upon him, he ate it. A lesser version like Fairy Sphere is not going to affect him if he ate a way more powerful version. Yugi versus base comic Thanos? See, I don't know what that would be. I'd have to ask somebody. One of my friends is a big comic dude. He could answer that question. I don't know. My comic information, my comic knowledge is not nearly as vast enough that I could answer that question. Anyway. Name any character that can actually beat Goku in a one-on-one battle. Yugi. Yugi can fucking murder Goku. He's got so many more powers, he's straight more powerful. But anyway, well, yeah, Anna was introduced way earlier before that she showed up, like, physically. She was first seen in that flashback when talking to Zareth. Because actually, she was also first mentioned when Zareth thought he was going to die to Natsu's power-up when he used Igneo's remaining time, because one of the people he thanks is Anna. But anyway, it's been a little over 2 hours. I'm gonna end the stream. If you guys have any more questions, leave them in a comment, and I'll try and get back to them, or you can ask me on Twitter. But I appreciate everyone who showed up. I appreciate the super chats. Thanks a lot, Grievous Error and Smarty. You guys are always appreciated.
And no, but Gemba doing 100 Years Quest. I don't know. Give me Ufotable. I would love Ufotable, please. Imagine Natsu and it is Aetherius Dragon Force, like with Ufotable levels of animation. That'd be so beautiful. But anyway, yeah, thanks everyone for showing up. I appreciate anybody who, you know, even your time. Obviously, I appreciate super chats, but I appreciate everyone in general. And I thank you all. Bye.